Hello and welcome to Bazemore-Hyder Stadium, where today the Valdosta State Blazers will be taking on the Newberry Scarlet and Gray. My name is Josh Colwell. I'll be your host, and my co-host here is Trey Williams. Let's start by taking a look at the starting offense in today's VSU lineup. Starting at the X receiver will be All-American Cedric Jones. Number 85, Kurt Deal, will be the Y receiver for today. Returning senior A.J. Baystone is the Z receiver. True freshman Mesh Wakamati is the left tackle. This is a big guy. He's 6'6", 310 pounds. Should be a presence on the line. Lance Helton, number 78, is at left guard. Senior Edward Gregory is starting at center for today. Kyle Fox, number 74, is right guard. The right tackle is Britt Wilson. Junior Jackson Dean is the H receiver. And Indiana University transfer Kellen Lewis will be starting at quarterback. This guy's explosive with his arm and his legs. Number 3, Ronnie Nelson is at running back for the evening. And from Austell, Georgia, number 30, Gabe Mold is at fullback.
And on the defensive side of the ball, we have Valdosta native number 50, Kier Moore, starting at defensive end. At defensive tackle, we have number 41, Alec Williams. The big man is in the middle is known as Mario Jones. He's the nose tackle for today. At the other defensive end spot, we have number 47, Melvin Black. And filling in for team captain Larry Dean today will be freshman Ryan Smith at the outside linebacker position. We have Marcel Horn holding down the middle linebacker position, number 33. Former Brooks County Trojan Dupree Miles is the other outside linebacker. Number 14, Alex Webster, will be patrolling the field at the right cornerback position today. True freshman Matt Pierce looks to make an impact at the free safety spot. Starting at strong safety, we have number 7, Josh Wiley. And starting at the left cornerback position is the veteran leader, number 24, Carlos Anderson.
And taking a look at the special teams for VSU, today's kicker is number 89, Daniel Anderson. Returning sophomore Jack Fulford will be the punter. Number 16, Isaiah Jupiter, is a kick returner for the evening. And Owen Dixon, number 9, will be returning punts. Trey, what are some key matchups we should be looking for today between these two contestants?
Well, I have 4 key matchups for both sides of the ball, so let's go ahead and get those out the way, and then we can come back and break them down a little bit later. First, I'd like to say the Valdosta State running backs versus Newberry's defense. I also have Newberry's wide receivers versus VSU's cornerbacks, and the spread offense of VSU versus the multiple 8 of Newberry, and the VSU speed versus Newberry size.
Okay, let's start by breaking down the running backs versus the Newberry defense. The running backs at Valdosta State are not necessarily known for their size, but for their speed and their agility. How does this match up against Newberry's large defensive line and secondary?
Well, the good thing is, even though we lack size, we actually have speed and we're very nimble. We're able to get to the outside, and then Newberry's defense has lost, I think, around 4 of their main defensive players from last year. They lost a whole lot of help as far as in the backfield and on the line. And with Ronnie Nelson, David Arnold, and Michael Brown, who also combined for over, I'll say, around 700 yards last year, that's going to be a big problem for the Newberry defense.
Yep, it's going to be a matchup of size versus speed. All right, let's take a look at the wide receiver matchup versus the VSU cornerbacks.
When it comes to the Newberry wide receivers versus the VSU cornerbacks, I say the main issue for VSU is most of the cornerbacks, I think the tallest back for VSU is 5'11", whereas the average guy on the Newberry side of the ball is 6'4", or 6'3", 6'2", something around this average. The thing is, Newberry loves to have very tall wide receivers, and VSU is very known for having short and very physical defensive backs. But the good thing about that is VSU loves to play the swarm-type defense, where if the ball is caught or somebody's running it, they swarm to the ball as immediately as they can and try to go ahead and make the tackle.
And to highlight some of the players that we're speaking of with the wide receiver position, Kelton Tyndall is a second-team All-American for Newberry, and Cedric Jones, as we previously mentioned, is a All-American wide receiver for the Valdosta State Blazers. So those will be 2 guys giving each defense probably all they really want and can handle. Again, let's look back at the spread offense versus the defense of Newberry.
Well, the good thing is about the spread offense of VSU, because we have a lot of people, but we can go ahead and discuss that a little later. We'll go ahead and wrap this up and try to go ahead and do a few commercials and do the kickoff.
Okay, sounds good. Well, again, stay tuned and welcome to our broadcast today. It's a beautiful day here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium, and we're looking forward to the kickoff.
About a year ago, Mark and I thought, air pollution, global warming. How can we make a difference? So Mark modified our car, some sort of homemade energy source.
The best part is the car emits only helium.
Genius.
But the EPA says the energy we use in our home can cause twice the greenhouse gases of a car. So now I look for products that are in the Energy Star. Simple.
The EPA invites you to go to EnergyStar.gov to discover what you can do to reduce air pollution.
The stem cell issue is being debated throughout the country. Truth is, most everyone has an opinion, even if they don't know the facts.
Let's stop arguing and start really understanding the potential of stem cell research.
For us and for millions of Americans living with disabilities, get the facts.
Call 1-877-842-3442 for free information from the Stem Cell Research Foundation. That's 1-877-842-3442.
Every year, 350,000 people are diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Who will be their caregivers?
I am a caregiver.
Yo soy la que cuida a mi abuelo.
I'm a caregiver.
Call 1-800-437-2423 for a free brochure from Alzheimer's Disease Research on caring for those you care for the most. 1-800-437-2423.
I'm a caregiver.
We're here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium where the coin toss has just taken place. The four team captains that represented VSU were number 32 Larry Dean linebacker, DeMario Jones, Ronnie Nelson, and Russ Calloway.
And for the Newberry team, we had number 13 Brandon Gant as well as number 26 Andre Moyd.
VSU won the coin toss and declined reception, so they will be kicking off to the eastern side of the field where Newberry will receive and will actually be battling the sun for, I suspect, at least the first half of this football game. Do you think that'll play a role, Trey?
It might play a factor, but then again, he is a seasoned quarterback. I mean, he's a senior. He might be able to do what it takes to go ahead and get his team down the field and be productive at the same time without the sun being too big of a factor.
Well, I can tell you this, the crowd is pumped up, giving a standing ovation to the kickoff team. Again, number 89, Daniel Anderson, will be the kicker today. The returners for Newberry will be Kelton Tyndall, number 85, their star wide receiver, as well as number 31, S.J. Worrell. Both have good speed. Looking from here, Tyndall is a tall guy.
Yes, and he's also very fast. He's one of the leading receivers on the team as well. But the thing with C.J. Worrell is he's short. He can hide behind that line that's blocking for him on the way back, and he also be able to break it out to the outside if they give him a chance to as well.
Here comes our opening kickoff, and it's a good one. Newberry receives the ball around the 7-yard line and bringing it upfield. It's Tyndall with the ball. Oh no, he's broken through. He's finally brought down by number 2 at about the 37-yard line. And so
that was a great tackle by Derek Harris right there to save the big play.
Yep, they almost broke it loose. So Newberry will take over on offense at the 38-yard line.
I'm ready to see what this DSU defense does against this Newberry offense. I've heard some trash being talked from the Newberry side, so let's see see if Newberry can back it up.
Yep. There is looks like a broken down screen. Pass was incompleted. Brandon Gant threw the ball to, I couldn't tell who the receiver was on that play, but
it was Tyndall.
It was Tyndall?
Yeah, it was Tyndall.
All right, he dropped the ball. I guess he felt the pressure of that swarm defense coming on him.
I feel as if the quarterback probably got a little rush right there on the play. He was ready to go ahead and show this VSU defense what he was made of and rush himself just a little bit right there and let the ball get away from him and threw it a little too far ahead of his receiver. So I look for him to make it up on this play right here.
I saw number 33, Marcel Horn, was close to the action. The snap is handed off to number 31, who is brought down at or behind the line of scrimmage. I believe there's actually going to be a loss on the play. The Blazers are hyped up. I see Larry Dean hopping around in the backfield. He was in on the tackle that time.
And that's what the Blazer defense does right there. It's called the Black Swarm for a reason. They make sure that every single person on the defense gets to the ball as fast as they can to make sure that no yards are gained at all.
Well, Larry Dean's back to his old self. He's picked up where he left off last year, and he's already in on one of the first 2 plays, helping bring it to a stop. Now we have Newberry lining back up and getting ready to try things again against this swarm defense. Ball snap, number 13. He's rolling to his right. Oh, he finds receiver number 2. They're going to have a first down on this play. A gain of probably around 15 yards. There is a flag on the play, though. It's over here near the Newberry sideline.
It looked like it might have been a late hit on Alice Webster or whoever it was came in to help him out right there at the last minute to try to make the tackle.
Yeah, I know number 21 for VSU, that being, who's number 20? Rashard Etheridge was in on that play. I don't know if the flag was on him or not, but he was near it, so we'll see what the call is.
And I saw Ratu Rebello also in the backfield putting the pressure on the quarterback to make sure he went ahead and got rid of the ball fast.
Uh-oh, it goes against VSU, and it's a big one. It looks like it might have been a personal foul. The ball is taken all the way down to VSU territory at the 31-yard line.
And these are the kind of mistakes the Blazers don't need to make right here,
No.
Josh. If we're trying to do something positive, we need to stop giving up simple penalties like this right here and do something positive.
Yeah, the best of teams can be hurt with penalties like that one. Hopefully that will be something the Blazers get out of their system early on. Number 31's handed the ball, runs it up the middle, and is stopped short, probably about a yard on the play. Just inside the 30, it looks like. Again, the VSU defense, especially that defensive line, is holding strong. It looks like the passing is the only thing that they've been able to get going so far.
Yeah, they've had a lot of low snaps, which is probably preventing the quarterback from actually having a chance to take a look downfield and read through his progressions and make sure he can actually have somebody open. But that was a good lane they opened up for the running back there, and I look for him to improve on it.
The carry was by number 31, Ryan, he drops back. Number 13 scrambling to his right.
Oh, and he is met with a big hit by Carlos Anderson to make sure he is separated from the ball and will not get anywhere near any yards off that play.
Carlos Anderson came up and lowered a shoulder on the receiver and knocked the ball loose. It was a big play.
But that was a good heads-up play by the veteran cornerback, Carlos Anderson. I mean, that's what he does. He brings leadership to this defense, and he makes sure that everybody's on the same page when it comes down to making sure there's no yards gained.
Yeah, Coach Coughlin as well as the other coaches did nothing but praise him. The snap, the quarterback is rolling backwards, throwing off the back. Kellen Tyndall drops a pass across the middle.
And they set up the screen for Kelton Tillman right there, and he missed the pass once again. It's another drop for him. That's the second pass today that I've seen him drop. Maybe he's hearing footsteps from that Blazer defense. What do you think, Josh?
It may be. The All-American is not known for dropping, but here it is. 4th down on for the Newberry Scarlet and Gray.
It's 4 and 8. That's a big conversion. I mean, if they can get this, I mean, they might actually have a chance to see how well this Blazer defense is. This is a true test. I mean, we have two freshmen out there starting for the Blazer defense, and number 14, Alex Webster, and number 26,
Matt Pierce.
So this will be a good test to see what these guys are made of.
Well, they are going for it on 4th and 8. So let's see what the VSU defense can do. He throws it deep to the end zone, and it's caught.
And it's caught for a touchdown.
It's caught.
And I did number 85, Kelton Tillman. It's a touchdown.
That was a touchdown for
He made up
Newberry.
for those 2 drops already.
So in the opening drive, Newberry goes the length of the field against the VSU Blazers and catch what looks to be about a 25-yard touchdown pass.
And that's the mismatch I was talking about earlier, Josh, when I said about the wide receivers in the little corners. He got behind the defense, sat down, and the quarterback found it.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. It looks like strong safety Josh Wiley was in on the play but was unable to make a play on that one.
That's where inexperience kind of hurts you, Josh.
And the extra point is good, so
Newberry's
at
up.
12:59 in the first quarter, Newberry goes up 7-0. We'll just hope from this point that VSU is able to come back and retaliate and put some points on the board themselves.
It's very rare a team actually comes in here to Bazemore-Hyder Stadium and goes right down the field and scores a touchdown against this Blazer defense. They've always been known as a bend but don't break type of defense, and you've seen they came out looking pretty impressive. It seemed like they was pretty hyped coming out of the huddle and everything, like they were ready to go, but just like I said, that mismatch at the wide receiver and cornerback is going to play a big role in today's game.
Yeah, opening drive touchdowns against VSU is something that is somewhat of a rarity. It happened here today. We'll see if that changes or sways momentum towards Newberry at this point. Looking at their bench, they're pretty hyped up.
And the good thing is that, see, as we saw earlier, Kelton Tyndall dropped 2 passes early on that drive, but the thing is his quarterback kept confidence and continued to go to him, and he came up with the big play. And that's where you have a 6'4" receiver going up against a freshman free safety as well as also another freshman corner who are inexperienced. And Alex Webster is over on the other side of the field trying to make the play. We had a lot of men around him, but we swarmed, but obviously we didn't swarm fast enough.
That looks to be what happened.
But I'd say the biggest thing we're going to have to watch here is Matt Pierce and see how well he plays being a true freshman and then filling in the shoes of Sherrod Reynolds, who was a 3-time All-American here at VSU who just graduated. He has a pretty big role to play.
Yep, well, number 2, Derek Harris, number 16, Isaiah Jupiter are in the backfield for VSU. getting ready to receive the kickoff here. Let's see if we can mimic what Newberry just did and have a strong return.
And as you saw there, the sun had no effect on the passing game whatsoever.
Looking at, here comes the kickoff. It's a pretty good kick down to about the Blazer 10.
Number 2, Derek Harris, is on the return.
Takes it to the middle of the field where he is met pretty quickly and finally taken down. Let's see where they mark him. It looks like they're going to mark him at the 29-yard line, 28.5, somewhere in that area.
That was a pretty good return by Derek Harris right there. He broke it off to the inside of the field, and he saw the lane, and he went ahead and he tried to take it. Only thing was the Newberry defense got around him real fast, and they went ahead and closed that hole. Just as soon as he saw it open, they closed it.
Well, the summary of that last touchdown, it was Kellen Tyndall who caught a 29-yard pass from Brandon Gant. That's a connection that's nothing new to this Newberry offense. Let's see what the VSU offense has to offer. Number 15, Kellen Lewis receives the snap. Looks calm and poised. Delivers the ball
on time.
On time. Good placement to number 84. That is Dean Jackson. Excuse me.
That is Jackson Dean. You said it backwards. You had the right man. You just said it backwards. And it looks like the Blazers are going to go with the no-huddle offense here to try to get the Newberry defense off their feet.
It was about a 2-yard gain. Ronnie Nelson has handed the ball on this run. And unfortunately, he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage. I don't think he really gained anything on that.
And that was another mismatch we really had to pay attention to. The Newberry defense completely, well, better yet, the Newberry team completely outside the Valdosta State team. We have very little people up front, whereas the Newberry team has big guys on the defensive line who might be able to push the pocket to make sure they get some pressure on Kellen Lewis.
Kellen Lewis, as we've seen in footage from him in Indiana University, as he's getting ready for the snap, it looks like they're doing a play call, maybe an audible here. He looks to the sideline to get some directions from the coaches. Ronnie Nelson rotates to the other side. He's now on Kellen Lewis's right. Again, Jackson Dean's over to the left with Cedric Jones. Jones is running, it looks like a fly route.
And he had all day, but
number 85, R.J. Baston, drops the pass across the middle.
That was Kurt Deal, actually. Sorry, it's okay. But Kurt Deal, that was enough yards almost for the first down. We probably could have had a chance at maybe a 4 and 3 on that if he'd actually held on to the ball. But obviously, as we see, the Newberry defense has been talking a little trash, and it looks like they're trying to back it up.
Well, unfortunately,
VSU is 4-9, and now it looks like we got the punt team out here ready to send it back to Newberry.
Yep, it's an unfortunate 3 and out for the VSU Blazers, and now sophomore Jack Fulford is in the backfield for a punt. Fulford's known for getting the ball high in the air and allowing his defense to get down the field in time to prevent any kind of big runs on the punt return side of the ball.
Yeah, I was watching this man early. He was booting them for over 50 yards.
Well, he just booted this one. Goes to about the Newberry 30, where the Newberry player is brought down at the Newberry 35. So again,
once again, that Black Swarm defense making sure they meet the opponent right there as soon as they catch the ball to make sure they don't go anywhere.
Fulford holds to his standards of getting the ball high enough to give the defense an opportunity to get down the field. It's a good kick. You know, the Newberry is known for having decent returns, especially with the speedy receivers and people they have in the backfield back there kicking the punts and kick returns. So if VSU can shut them down in that area, they'll really be letting some air out of the tires of these Newberry Scarlet and Gray.
And they're getting ready for the snap. And he makes the pass to number 14, who has a little daylight over here on the sideline and picks up about 8 yards on that carry. Number 14
was David Presley. He's a junior out of Anderson, South Carolina. He's 5'11", 200 pounds. So that's one thing, as we mentioned earlier, Newberry is known for their large, wide receivers. And Valdosta State is known for our smaller, quicker, physical cornerbacks. So thus far, the size has beat out the speed with that opening drive where Kellen Tyndall caught the touchdown in the end zone. But let's see if we can turn things around on this drive here.
And then we
They
have
hand the ball off to number 31, S.J. Worrell. Takes it up the middle and gains probably about 7 yards.
And they're constantly moving the ball here on this VSU defense. This is something that you very rarely see. A team actually coming into Bazemore-Hyder Stadium, and completely dominating this VSU defense. It's completely rare.
It is. It's unseen. As a matter of fact, in 2008, rush yards, the defense only let up about 108 yards a game with rushing, which averaged about 3.1 per play. So that run right there already shows that that VSU is having a little trouble stopping this run.
And Newberry came to play.
Yes, they did. And it's another play on the field.
Number 31, C.J. Worrell.
S.J. Worrell, yes.
S.J. Worrell, thank you. With the carry.
Brought down pretty quickly.
And it looks like he maybe got a yard, if that much, on that carry. He didn't move. He didn't go too far.
It is 2nd and 9. Ball's on the 47-yard line. There is 10 minutes and 3 seconds left here in the first quarter, so we're still early on. Plenty of time to turn things around here for the Blazers.
And it looks like this Blazer defense is a little off its heels, and it's in an unusual spot where they're constantly being attacked, and where they're usually the ones that are on the other end of this, where they're shutting down the offense and they're having their way.
You know, to be optimistic, this could be a good thing for that team. It's going to show them that in the GSC, they already know this, I'm sure, that they're not just going to be able to steamroll opponents. It's going to be a tried and tested year for these guys. So coming from behind might be something this offense and defense can learn from and really build off of.
Yeah, I mean, whatever doesn't kill you, I mean, it can only make you stronger, Josh. I mean, the only thing that this team can really do from this experience right now is regain their composure, go ahead and try to make the best of it, and keep their head in the game and try to make the next big play, because anything's liable to happen right now, Josh.
Brandon Gant just received the ball. He keeps it himself, throws a pass that is near number 7 for the VSU team, Josh Wiley, and it was incomplete. He was aiming for David Smith, the wide receiver. David Smith is actually the biggest receiver that I see for Newberry. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. There's a player down on the VSU side of the field. It looks to be number 24, Carlos Anderson.
And going back to that play, he was trying to make sure he hit David Smith. He made it look as if he was.
I joined the National Guard and never thought I'd be saving lives.
I put on the uniform and I have a whole new outlook on life. Country, community, family. That's what matters most to me. If that matters to you, go to 1-800-GO-GUARD.com.
All right, we're back here. Carlos Anderson was the player who went down on the field, but he got up and trotted off. He seems to be just fine. He was replaced by number 26, Matt Pierce, at free safety. Matt Pierce is a true freshman, so this is a somewhat inexperienced player on the field, but hopefully he'll be able to step in and fill the position well. The ball is snapped. Brandon Gant looks across the middle and connects with number 14, David Presley. The ball looked to maybe have been loose. The ball came out, but apparently his knee was down first.
And if you notice, before that play went off, Larry Dean was running around from sideline to sideline trying to make sure his defense was on the same page. I mean, from only things I heard about Larry Dean were good things. Like, he's like one of the smartest players on the defensive side of the ball. He's constantly in the weight room, constantly in the film room, trying to make sure he's the best football player he can be. But then to David Presley, he's the second leading receiver from last year on this squad. So I'm pretty sure he's one of Brandon Gant's favorite targets. So I look to see him make a whole lot more plays on today.
Well, with that play, Newberry picked up a first down. So it's now 1st and 10 with the ball on the 36-yard line. They are now in VSU territory. The ball is snapped. There's a flag on the play, though. It was handed off to number 11, Brandon Bostic. Wow, this guy's a really big wide receiver, 6'4", 235 pounds. I stand corrected. He is the biggest wide receiver for Newberry.
And the thing is, he's only a sophomore. This man still has room for his body to grow. I mean,
2 more years.
This man could possibly go anywhere and probably be a tight end, but yet and still they want to have him out here at wide receiver. But it's probably because he can run like a deer.
It looks as if there was holding on the play against Newberry. That'll move the ball back 5 yards. So they'll repeat the first down and they have 15 yards to go for another first down. The ball is now on the 41-yard line. We have 9 minutes and 4 seconds left on the clock here in the first quarter.
Well, the good thing is for this Newberry offense, I guess, is that the sun is actually going down now, and there's a little shade on the field, so he doesn't have to worry about the sun interfering with what he sees downfield anymore.
And the players don't really have to contend with the heat. The ball is snapped and is handed to S.J. Worrell, who is grabbed in the backfield by Larry Dean and helped down by Josh Wiley and Carlos Anderson. Anderson checked back in the game and already making an impact.
He wanted to make sure he got back in and made an impact play. He wants to make sure this team comes away with a win, and he wants to let the coaches know that he's here to make sure he does that, whatever it takes.
Carlos is not one to remain silent and go unseen. He's going to make his presence felt, and he did on that play. It was a 3-way assist between Dean, Wiley, and Anderson, it looked to be. Now the ball is now 2nd and 17 to go with the ball on the 43, so 2 yards were lost on that play. Brandon Gant receives the ball. He's looking for a receiver deep down the middle. It's Tyndall.
Once again, number 85 gets behind the defense, and all of a sudden, it could have been another touchdown, but the good thing is, I guess, for the Blazers defense is that Gant let the ball get away from him a little bit, and he overthrew his receiver. Other than that, he was completely by himself.
Have to admit, it's a little concerning to see such a big receiver. You know, VSU's really pride himself on their speed here, but I mean, he's getting behind the secondary and the free safety and strong safety every play, it seems like, or at any time he really wants to.
That's where the inexperience comes in, that I guess, where we don't have that many cornerbacks who actually know how to get to where they need to be at the right times.
Well, here's another shot at it. Brandon Gant rolls to his right, feels pressure, lets it loose. He was aiming again for Tyndall, and did not get him that time. He overthrew him. It's Kelton Tyndall.
Yeah, Kelton Tyndall seems to be his favorite target today. Every time I've seen him really make a deep pass down the field, it's been towards number 85, their leading receiver from last year. Only thing I can say is the Blazers got to put their heads back on and try to get their composure back and make sure that they cover this guy. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have somebody on him, but it looks as if they're just letting him run wild out there.
Well, the Blazers are a resilient team known for being scrappy, and they force a punt right here. It's a pretty good punt. Looks like they're going to let it go into the – oh, no. The ball is brought down at the Blazer 5-yard line. Looks like they're marking it at the 5. It's a beautiful punt. Didn't go the Blazers' way that time. Looked like number 84, Jackson Dean, was back there closest to the ball, potentially to receive it, and he decided to let it go thinking it would bounce into the end zone, but it didn't happen that way.
Yeah, usually most coaches will tell you if it's the 10-yard rule that if anywhere near the 10-yard line, you just get out of the way and hopefully it'll take a good bounce for you and go in the end zone and put you out to the 20. But like you said, this time it just didn't go the Blazers' way.
Well, the Blazers have some work to do now, but this is nothing that they're not used to. They're used to grinding it out, so let's see what we can put together here. Kellen Lewis is looking at the defense and receives the snap. It's handed off to Ronnie Nelson, who finds a hole, and he's moving well. He moves it up to about the 19-yard line, so that was a major gain right there of about 14 yards.
And that's what I've expected from the Blazer offense, pretty much for what I expected coming into this game, because we have a whole lot of people on the offensive side of the ball who can actually produce some points and put up some good numbers here. So I'm looking for that to continue to happen all day, as well as that offensive line making a whole lot of holes for Ronnie Nelson to run through.
Well, I know once you get past those, usually what is the defensive scheme that Newberry typically runs? And what do you?
It's the multiple 8.
Multiple 8. Oh, the ball is batted down by number 3, Antonio Patton. He's a defensive back. He's a senior. It was close. It could have been a pick. Fortunately, it was not. It was just patted down. So the Blazers catch somewhat of a break there.
Yeah, he's one of the top defensive players for this Newberry defense, and he almost made a good break on the ball and would have came away with probably another Newberry touchdown if it wasn't for the receiver in his way.
Well, number 2, Derek Harris checks in for number 84, Jackson Dean. Cedric Jones is lined up on the left side of the field as the Blazers are getting ready to snap the ball. And Kellen Lewis receives the snap, looking to his right. He finds Ronnie Nelson for a short gain. Nelson lost his footing and went down pretty quickly. So the Blazers didn't pick up a whole lot on that play.
No, at least it was a positive yardage, though. They didn't lose anything, so that's a good thing. But if he'd have actually been able to get the ball and turn upfield, he probably would have got at least another 4 or 5 yards off of that play.
Well, we just got the signal. The Blazers actually did pick up a first down on that play, so we're starting to get the ball rolling here a little bit. They're now on the 16-yard line at 1st and 10. See if we can put a series here, together here. We have 2 men in the backfield. It looks like it's Derek Harris. There's a flag on the play. All right, well, while we're sorting things out here, let's take a look at what the Blazers are doing thus far, Trey. What do you see that the offense is trying to do so far? Have you seen any kind of strategy?
It looks like they're trying to go down to the check down, man, and try to get some of their wide receivers going early, as well as trying to get Ronnie Nelson in the groove to where he can possibly bust open a big run. Or it could just be the fact that maybe this multiple 8 defense by the Newberry team is throwing Kellen Lewis off a little bit.
You know, I haven't seen a whole lot of looks towards Cedric Jones, which is odd to me, seeing that In 2007, he was our All-American wide receiver. You would think maybe the Blazers are going to try and look his way a little more often. Do you think Kellen Lewis is surprised at all with the defense he's lining up against?
Probably not. He probably used to see this all the time in the Pac-10.
The Big 10?
Yeah, Big 12.
Oh, he's scrambling in the end zone. He gets it away to Ronnie Nelson, who makes the catch, but it looks like there will be a loss of yardage on the play. They're marking the spot at the 8-yard line, so the Blazers do lose yardage on that play, which puts it at, I believe it's going to be 2nd down and 15.
Yeah, that's something you don't want to see. When your quarterback is running for his life in the backfield and then he goes into the end zone, which is possibly points for the other team, especially if they catch him. But the good thing is, while he was scrambling, he kept his eyes downfield, and he found Ronnie Nelson to go ahead and give the ball to make sure they didn't get the safety and actually have another chance to try to get the yards back.
Well, the ball is on the 8-yard line. It's 2nd down with 18 yards to go. Again, Lewis is looking to the sideline as to possibly audible. There's 2 backs in the backfield. It's number 30, Gabe Mold, the fullback. And now there's a flag on the play. Looks like it could be a false start against VSU. It's against number 15 on the Blazer offense, which is Kellen Lewis. So the quarterback.
It was a delay of game call.
It was a delay of game called against Kellen Lewis. Okay. I think he knew it pretty immediately. The line just popped up and started moving backwards. So really going to hope that's not going to be a trend for the day. But the ball is now on the 4-yard line. It's 2nd down with 22 to go. Again, here in the first quarter, 6:27 on the clock. Kellen Lewis is checking off the defense and seeing what play he's going to run. 2 backs in the backfield. The ball snapped. Kellen Lewis takes it himself. Oh, he's making some plays with his legs. I believe there's a fumble on the play, and
Newberry
defense.
They got it.
Looks like they may have. Newberry's emphatically pointing towards the end zone, but that's something you're taught to do in high school, so that doesn't really mean anything just yet.
Yeah, we'll see when the refs come up and let us know which way is the ball still going. But even if VSU did turn the ball over, this would be very big for Newberry because they'll already be on their 10-yard line and pretty much in a very good position to go ahead and score.
It looks like VSU actually retains possession of the ball. Starting offense is still on the field. Trey, did you expect the VSU to be running this two-back set, or is that something new?
And there's the replay, and the ball actually did come out.
And it looks like it was recovered by an offensive lineman. VSU's lining up. Looks like they've got their play call. They're in the huddle now. The receivers are already outside. Cedric Jones has made his way to the left goal line.
And this is something I didn't expect to see the VSU offense going through. But then again, it could be to the fact that they have a brand new quarterback and they're going through a few growing pains with it.
That's probably has a lot to do with it. A new unit here together. Well, this ball is snapped. Looking pass again. They dump it off to Ronnie Nelson, who was met in the backfield. Looks like Blazers may have actually lost a play, at least a yard on the play.
He was met by number 5, R.J. Reeder, who is actually one of the top defensive players on the side of Newberry. Here we have the replay. And he lobs it over to Ronnie Nelson, number 3, but as soon as he got the ball, he was met by R.J. Reeder. He didn't give him a chance to turn the ball upfield.
Yep, Reeder, as you said, was one of their leading tacklers. Just last year he had 44 tackles, so he's a returning player. He's a senior, and he's already making an impact here today.
And this is the second time VSU has punted today. This is, once again, out of the ordinary.
Not a good start, but Jack Fulford has the ball. He gets rid of it. He kicks it out of the end zone, and it's about as close to a 60-yard punt.
And the Black Swarm defense is already in the backfield in pursuit. Oh, with a big block there by number 89.
Number 3, Antonio Patton, has about a 30 or 40-yard return on that play. There was a big block on our number 29, Devin Cannon. He was depleted by one of the Newberry players.
And here we have the replay. We have Antonio Patton running with the ball, and then we have number 27 in pursuit, but he misses a shoestring tackle. And then we have number 29 in high pursuit, and then he gets blocked off pretty quickly, and Patton goes down the sideline and picks up another good 15, 20 yards. Well, I'll say more than 30, 40 yards off of that play. And then he's finally tackled on the outside by, well, forced out of bounds by number 32, Larry Dean.
Dean actually, Antonio Patton, when he received the ball, actually ran to the opposite side of the field to kind of reverse the play. And when he ran to that corner, he had blazing speed. VSU player number 85, Kurt Deal, is walking on the field with his helmet off. Coaches are looking at him. Appears to be fine. But we're beginning another offensive series, or defensive series for the Blazers.
David Patton just has 2 returns on the day and already has 45 yards returning and averaging 22.5 on the carry.
Well, the ball is actually placed back around the VSU 42-yard line, so it's not as deadly of a punt return as what we originally thought. Looks as though number 38 on the VSU defense, that is Japri Miles, is screaming out orders.
And number 10, Akeem Sherman, took the ball up the middle, and it looked like he picked up about a good 4 or 5 yards off the run.
Number 10, Akeem Sherman, the ball carrier. Yep, it was Akeem Sherman. It is now 2nd down with 3 yards to go, so he picked up 7 yards on the play. Ball's on the 35-yard line. We have 4 minutes and 25 seconds left on the clock here in the first quarter. Number 13, Brandon Gantz, receiving signs from the sideline.
And number 13 takes the snap, and he's looking for his man. He had to hit his check down receiver. And it looks like it's number 8. Oh, and the ball pops free, but Newberry seems to have recovered it. It looked like one of the offensive lineman was able to jump on before the Valdosta defense was able to get over and recover the ball.
The check down receiver was number 81, David Brown. He's another big receiver. He's a senior. We're looking at the replay now. Brandon Gant does again hit his check down receiver, who was hit pretty immediately by number 38, Japri Miles. He gets by Miles, though. In a group of Blazers, it's hard to tell who caused the fumble, but again, that swarm defense is what caused the fumble there. That is the theory behind the swarm defense, to create turnovers.
Yeah, and it looked like number 78, Kenny Heath, actually was able to jump on the ball and save the drive for the Newberry Scarlet and Gray.
Well, that might be one of the first positives we've seen tonight, Trey, the swarm defense at work. We now have a flag on the play.
And it looks like the Blazer Nation is ready to get into the game and back up their team. They're trying to make a lot of noise and confuse the offense down there, and it looked like it might be working, Josh.
That's true. There was not many fannies in the seat when that fumble came loose. Looks like the referees are sorting out what the flag is exactly on. At this time, catch the David Dean Show on VSU-TV every Monday at 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. Check TV guide listings for other airings of the David Dean Show here on VSU-TV. The referees are still sorting out exactly what the flag is over. Newberry's huddled over at their sideline, and VSU defense looks to be getting a pretty stern talking to by the VSU coach. It's 3rd down with 1 yard to go currently. This may be changing. Newberry called timeout prior to the snap.
We have 3 minutes and 15 seconds left to go right here in the first quarter, and as the teams retake the field, I guess one of the most surprising things I can say I've seen here today, Josh, must be the Newberry offense. I didn't expect them to come in here into Bazemore-Hyder Stadium and just push the Blazer defense around like this.
Well, Newberry is known for having a pretty balanced offense. They typically rush about 146 yards a game, and they pass about 199, so there's only about a 50-yard difference there. So this balanced attack is proven to be catching the VSU defense a little off guard. You see the team captain, one of the team captains, Larry Dean, pumping up the VSU crowd.
And he's also walking around to his other teammates and making sure everybody's on the same page. Larry Dean is one of those very intense players who really hates to lose. If he loses, it's almost like the end of the world to him. So he makes sure he does everything he can every play to make sure that doesn't happen.
Kelton Tyndall's in motion. The ball is snapped and handed off to number 10, who is Akeem Sherman, and brought down very short. Didn't gain much yardage on the play at all. It's now 4th down with 1 yard to go. Last time they were faced with a 4th down position, Newberry went for it, so let's see what they do this time. The offense is still on the field.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go ahead and go for it here, Josh. I don't see the reason why they wouldn't. I mean, they went for it on 4 and 8. Why not do it on 4 and 1?
Yeah, at this point, most conservatives would They'd kick a little field goal here and tack 3 more on the board, but it looks like Newberry's coming for blood. They're not trying to lay off at all. They're trying to tack 7 more on the board. Let's see if the Blazer defense, the ball is hiked. The ball is caught by number 89. It looks to be the tight end. Justin Green, the tight end. He was a big guy, 6'2", 245 pounds. So again, Newberry is 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions. What's that saying for us?
It was one of those play fakes, Josh. It looked like the defense went ahead and bit on the run. I guess they thought they were going to go ahead and hand it off and try to run for it up the middle. But as you can see, they did the little quick play action, and Gant saw his tight end wide open down the field and made sure he hit him. Then they got the big yardage.
Well, Newberry is certainly bringing the heat right now.
Right now, Newberry actually has a 4th down efficient rate of 2 and 2. They completed they've converted every 4th down so far. And with the run right there by number 13, Brandon Gant, he goes up the middle, and I see a flag on the field now. It'll be holding on the Newberry offense, so that's going to be coming back.
Can't tell if it's number 38, Japri Miles, who's laying on his stomach in the backfield. Larry Dean's checking on him. But again, like what you were saying about the 4th down conversions, the first one was for a yard. I mean, that's not terribly uncommon, maybe in the first quarter. The second one now was an 8-yard conversion. They are not being conservative at all.
They're making sure they're going ahead and putting a message out there that they're not a team to be reckoned with. No matter how good everybody says Valdosta State defense is, they're coming here and proving that they have an offense that can be reckoned with, and they can go ahead head-to-head with this VSU defense and make a name for themselves in the SAC.
There is a 10-yard penalty that's been assessed.
Okay, but while we have this quick little break from the action down here on the field, don't forget to watch the VSU-TV for the latest local, state, and national news on VSU-TV News, airing live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. or catch the rebroadcast at 8 p.m. and 10:30 p.m.
All right, well, there is certainly very little commotion on the field. Both teams are huddling up in their groups, regrouping from the series that they are involved in right now.
We have the training staff out there right now checking on Japri Miles.
Don't really know at all what happened on the play. Well, at this moment,
and we're going to go ahead and go to break. Right now, the time is 2 minutes and 1 second left here in the first quarter with Newberry up 7-0. And we'll be back after these few messages.
If a chronic illness is driving you apart, call 1-800-344-4867 because a healthy relationship matters.
Welcome back to Bazemore-Hyder Stadium, where the score is now 7-0 with 2 minutes and 1 second left in the first quarter. Unfortunately, number 38, Japri Miles for the VSU defense, was just carted off the field. He seemed to be okay, waved at the crowd, but number 85, Kelton Tyndall, has been given the ball. He's rounding the corner and is met by VSU defenders and taken out of bounds at about the 14-yard line.
Yeah, he was met by number 26, Matt Pierce, as well as number 56, Joseph Stevens, and they made sure they went ahead and got over there and made the tackle.
Newberry's lining back up on the ball. There's been an exchange of defensive players for VSU. Some checked out, some checked back in. Currently, we're playing with 4 linemen. Larry Dean is in the outside slot covering Tyndall. Oh, he let him go on the right side. Tyndall was found at the 1-yard line.
And Tyndall has been making plays over the field all day long. I mean, is there anybody out here even covering this guy? It seems like this man is doing whatever he wants. And you can see here on the replay, Gantz gets outside the pocket, and he hits Tyndall, and it looks as if it was going to be tipped by number 44, but Ratu Rabella, but he couldn't get to it. And Tyndall picked up the yardage and made a heads-up play. I mean, there's nothing else you can really say about that. That's just good sportsman. I mean, that's just good playing. I mean, you can't top that.
Looks like Kelton Tyndall starting to get a little comfortable on the field. That could be bad news for VSU. Brandon Gantz behind center, under center. He's rolling to his right, looking for, it looked like he was looking for number 25, who is Rod Neighbors, the fullback for for Newberry, and it was incomplete.
I bet it's one of those he wishes he had back, because if he had put a little less on that one, his fullback would have probably went into the end zone with that.
Strong safety for VSU, number 42, Dudley Spence, was near the play. Didn't break it up, but he was there.
That was some of those footsteps he probably heard that also made him not want to stretch out for it.
Click clack. Newberry is now lining up for a field goal attempt. It's 4th down with 2 to go, so at this point I guess they're done with their 4th down conversions for the time being.
I guess they feel they might as well go ahead and go for the 3 points instead of attempting to get the 6, and then they get shut out by this Black Swarm defense.
Well, it was a field goal, so that now makes the score 10-0. Newberry with 1 minute and 1 second left in the first quarter. Trey, what do you think Valdosta is going to need to do to regroup for after this drive?
They're going to make sure they get all over the guy, Kellen Tindall. I mean, he just had another 29-yard pass from Brandon Gant that set the team up for a field goal. I mean, the Blazer defense is known for filling the gaps, shutting down the run, but then with these brand new guys back here is Alex Webster, and then we also have Matt Pierce back here in the backfield. It's going to be a long day for the secondary of the VSU on defense.
Well, let's hope that speed starts working to our favor. So far, the size is winning out. As we discussed earlier, these big wide receivers, they are hard to cover.
Well, I won't necessarily say that it's the fact that they're hard to cover, but I guess they probably a little bit more speed that VSU was expecting due to the fact that the wide receivers are 6'4", 6'3", and I don't think they have one that's under 200 pounds. And if they do, he's not on the field right now.
Yeah, I believe they have one at 195 pounds, but he's right there at it. So there really isn't much relief when it comes to weight and height at the wide receiver position for VSU, the cornerbacks.
And I'm pretty sure Coach Todd Knight knew coming into this game that if he was going to come away with the W today, he had to exploit the wide receiver to cornerback matchup that he had out here on the VSU Blazers.
Well, that seems to be exactly what he's doing. He's not really letting up on the run attack either, but it does look like the pass is their first option in the offense.
Yeah, but I mean, they haven't been able to do too much against the pass all day. Once again, it goes to the young secondary. But, I mean, hopefully the Blazers will be able to regroup coming up in the second quarter and go ahead and make some heads-up plays and try to get back into this game, because right now it's looking like it could possibly turn into a blowout on the end of VSU.
Well, number 34, Todd Moon, is setting up for the kickoff for Newberry. Again, Isaiah Jupiter and Derek Harris are back receiving for VSU, hoping for another good return. There is 1 minute and 1 second left in the first quarter. Let's see if the Blazers can run the ball down the field. Let's get ready for kickoff. And the ball is kicked. It's not the best kick. It's to about the 10-yard line. Isaiah Jupiter picks the ball up, puts a spin move on. Good-looking move. Gets out to about the 29-yard line where he is brought down.
And that's what we expect to see from Jupiter all day. Him actually being able to have his eyes upfield, seeing the open lanes, and trying to make sure he runs near daylight and get the offense in a good position to try to come back and make a score.
Well, Isaiah Jupiter is just a sophomore, so he's still polishing those skills, and looks like he's come a long way. He's putting on a show out there with the returns. He's now out here as a receiver. Looks to be taking the place of Cedric Jones for the time being, so we'll see if he gets a look from Kellen Lewis, who's preparing for the snap. Kellen Lewis receives the snap. He drops back looking for a pass, and he finds number 35. That is Rico Mack, wide receiver. He's a freshman, and Rico Mack crosses the 50-yard line. So we're now, for the first time today, the VSU Blazers are in Newberry territory.
And that was a great pass from Kellen Lewis to make sure he found his man over the middle and hit him in stride to make sure they picked up the yardage.
Well, it's 1st and 10, ball on the 48. Kellen hands the ball off to number 25, who was brought down right at the line. Michael Brown was the running back on that play. He's a sophomore.
And Michael Brown was one of the main offensive tools that they had last year that was running the ball. He had over 300 yards per carry, but, I mean, when you were splitting time with as deep as the VSU backs are, I mean, you can't get too many yards in a season.
There's 19 seconds left on the clock. Oh, no, the snap is over Kellen Lewis's head. He's scrambling to his right, looking to make something happen. He threw a pass to number 35 again. Rico Mack hit him in the numbers and fell out.
That's right there where, once again, inexperience shows up. He's a freshman out there trying to play with the big boys, and he just dropped the pass. Maybe he got a little bit too excited. Maybe he took his eyes off the ball before it actually got to him, and he was ready to run before his hands actually had a grip on the ball. Well, but there is a flag on the field, so let's check and see what the flag is, Josh.
Again, while we're waiting to sort it out. Offsides, number 97 on the defense. So VSU catches a break on that one. It was 2nd and 7. That should move them up to about 2nd and 2. The ball is moved to the 40-yard line.
Number 97, that was Bruce Bagley on the Newberry defense, who actually got offsides and helped the VSU Blazers out there and put them in a 2nd and 2 situation to go ahead and convert this.
Tell you what, that was really close to being the first VSU touchdown of the evening. I'm sure Mack had some nerves and just didn't quite reel it in.
A couple big game jitters.
Kellen Lewis receives the snap, looks to his check down receiver, scrambles to the right, lobs one up, and it is picked off by number 3 on Newberry, who is Antonio Patton.
Once again, Antonio Patton wanted to making a heads-up play out there for the defense and trying to make sure that they help his team out get this win today. And the Newberry defense is very hyped. Let's go ahead and check the replay here. And as you can see, Kellen Lewis was flushed out of the pocket because the offensive line wasn't holding up too well, and he threw the lob up and hoping that one of his receivers would actually been able to come down with it, but Antonio Patton just jumped in front of it, came down with it, and started taking it back upfield for Newberry until he was finally brought down by, forced out of bounds by number 59, Ryan Angel. Well, that's the end of your first quarter here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium with Newberry up 10-0. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll see you back here after these few commercials.
Valdosta, Georgia. It's all you need. With innovative minds that feed a thriving business environment, all with access to international contacts. And a university influence with championship teams. It's premier healthcare and a community that's metropolitan, yet inviting. Valdosta, Georgia, all you need.
Thanks for joining us back here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium, where Newberry leads the Blazers 10-0, and they're beginning a new offensive series where number 14 just received a pass from Brandon Gant. Number 14 is David Presley for Newberry.
And excuse me, go ahead. Oh, you're good. But once again, as you can see, the Blazer defense making sure they try to get to the receiver as quickly as possible and trying to go ahead and salvage this first half. I mean, so far, the defense hasn't played up to expectations. I mean, a lot of coaches feel that this team could possibly be the team to get them back to where they were a couple years ago when they won those national titles.
Well, we'll have a long way to go. It's just the first game. Newberry's giving the Blazers a tough time so far. They have a receiver in motion. It's Tilden. It's a handoff up the middle. Gains maybe a couple yards.
Yeah, that's where big Demario Jones comes off in, when he sits off in that middle, trying to make sure he clogs it up and make sure nobody else gets through there, because that's his domain. He runs that little area right there. Even though he's not on the field right now, he just got back in. That play was actually made by number 65 and number 94 for the Blazers, Jeremy Brown and Schneider Seniors.
And it was run by S.J. Worrell, number 31, who's been active tonight for Newberry. Again, Tyndall in motion. Gant rolls to his left and looks deep for number 2, who makes the catch and steps out of bounds. David Smith caught the pass.
Once again, another blown coverage by the defensive backs on the VSU side. I'm guessing they're not seeing the same thing that we're seeing, or if not there, they're expecting to run. And as you can see here on the replay, Gant comes out, he flushes out to the left side of the pocket, and he just throws it deep down the sideline, and he finds number 2, David Smith, wide open, not a Blazer in sight. The closest Blazer to Smith was Carlos Anderson, and he wasn't even within arm's length of him.
Yeah, another play here. There's a run up the middle by Worrell. The ball comes loose, and VSU recovers it. It is VSU football. The recovery was by number 97. Not exactly.
Melvin Black.
Melvin Black.
And that was a big hit coming on from the Blazers. There he is right here on the replay. He's running up the middle until he runs into, it looked like it could have been Larry Dean right there.
Well, there's a big.
I couldn't really see whoever the tackle was on that one right there.
Well, that was a big break for VSU. Newberry caught a pass that maybe shouldn't have been caught, but they brought it in, and They were threatening again, nearing the red zone of VSU. Unfortunately, that fumble came loose. So we'll begin another offensive series here with 13:22 left in the second quarter. See if we can get something rolling here with Kellen Lewis and the strong backfield of VSU.
Yeah, I expect the Blazers to try to go ahead and pick it up right here on this drive.
David Arnold receives the handoff and takes it up the middle. He is not brought down easily at all, and he falls forward. That's going to be a pretty decent gain there.
And that's what I heard about David Arnold. I heard he was a very powerful runner, and it's going to take a whole lot of people to come in and take David Arnold down, because once he gets ahead of steam up, it's very, very unlikely for just one person to bring him down with a simple arm tackle.
It was a gain of 7. It's second and third now. VSU receives a snap. Number 10, David Arnold again with the carry, and I believe on that play he picked up the first down.
Yeah, once again,
there's a flag on the
over
play.
To David Arnold, trying to make sure he goes ahead and pounds up the middle to go ahead and convert that so they can get that first down.
We just received an injury report for number 33, Japri Miles. He has a dislocated right ankle. Number 38, excuse me, Japri Miles. He's one of the linebackers that started tonight. He was on, I believe he was on the outside. Him and Larry Dean were heading things up together. And do not expect him to return.
Yeah, the native Brooks County Trojan. He's one of kind of, might as well say, hometown heroes. I mean, he's only a hop, skip, and a jump away from Valdosta. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of the fans out here might be very familiar with Japri Miles.
The Blazers receive a very favorable call on that one. They move the ball up to about the 48-yard line. So they're nearing midfield. Again, it's first down and 10. Kellen Lewis looking to do something here. He receives the snap, and again, it's David Arnold with the handoff. It gets the carry. Oh, a great stiff arm on number 5, R.J. Reeder, but unfortunately, he was brought down by the ankles by Reeder.
And it looks like he also lost a yard or two on the play.
Yeah, it does look like he didn't quite make it out of the backfield.
Well, that's the main issue that you have with a lot of your power runners. They might be pretty good when it comes to going up the middle. When it comes to bouncing the ball to the outside, they just don't have the get up that those small guys have to go ahead and hit that corner and turn it upfield for a positive gain.
Well, second and 11. The Blazers are going to try this again. The center checking things off. Kellen Tyndall receives the snap, throws it across the middle, a laser. It's connected. It's received by number 19, who is Gerald Ford. He's a freshman.
And that's something you like to see from your freshmen. If you're going to have faith in your freshmen to come in and make a contribution to the team, then you love it when you see them actually coming in and doing what you expect them to do.
Well, it's another first down for the Blazers, so this is the best offensive drive thus far for the VSU squad. Another handoff. It's number 2, Derek Harris, who rounds the corner and is taken out by the legs. Harris does pick up probably about 4 or so yards on the play.
And this is what the Blazers offense has to do, Josh. It has to keep the Newberry defense off the hill so they can go ahead and try to pick up some of this yardage that they was missing out on in the first quarter.
Yep, the speed's starting to play. Kellen Lewis with the snap again. It's back to Derek Harris on the outside corner, taken out of bounds at about the 28-yard line.
Derek Harris rushes for a short gain on the play.
And it looked like it might have been by number either 28 or 26. And if it was 26, it was Andre Moyd. And if not 28, it was Dejon Lee. But both players were in the area at the time of the tackle.
Well, Derek Harris appears to be one of the most successful rushers that VSU has against this Newberry squad thus far. And from the looks of it, he's one of the quickest too. Maybe speed will start playing a factor here tonight. Kellen Lewis receives the snap. He hands it back off again. The ball came loose, but the player was already down on the field, so it's still the VSU ball.
And it looks like the players are having a lot of trouble holding on to the ball here. I mean, that's like the 3rd loose ball we've seen tonight.
It is. I don't know if it's humidity and moisture or what it may be, but the ball is coming loose tonight. That was carried by Ronnie Nelson. So it is now 3rd down with 2 yards to go with the ball on the 27. Oh, excuse me, it's 4th down. 4th down and short. We'll see if the Blazers pull something out of their hat and go for it, just like Newberry's been doing all evening. And it looks like they will. I see Cedric Jones is back on the field. There's been an official timeout to measure the exact location of the ball to see if it's, I guess, close to a first down or may even be a first down.
All right, since we have a quick break right here while they're going to go ahead and do the measurements, let's go ahead and get one of these announcements in here. The deadline to register for Parents Weekend is September 4th. There will be events and fun activities, including shows and tours, and outdoor movies, meals, and a Blazer football game versus Southern Arkansas. For more details, check the news link on valdosta.edu. Parents Weekend is September 11th here at VSU.
All right, the measurement's been taken, and it looks like VSU is just short. Blaze FM.
Well, we're going to go back to the action down here on the field this time.
The Blazers are just short. It's 4th and short, and they are going for it. Kellen Lewis comes up and goes under center out of shotgun. It's a quarterback sneak up the middle. It's going to be close.
And it looked like he might have had just enough to go ahead and get the first down to go ahead and convert this 4th down.
I think so. It's going to depend on the spot, but it did look like he gained. Oh, it's not a first down. Blazers. Blazers do get the first down, so this series will continue. And so far, is that 1-1 for VSU with 4th down conversions?
Yes. And it looked like it might be some confusion down on the field right there.
Hopefully not on the VSU side. It looks more like the defense being confused. Kellen Lewis back in shotgun mode, has 2 backs in the backfield, Ronnie Nelson, and can't quite tell what the other number is. Defense is rushing. There's a flag on the play. There may have been encroachment, but there may have also been a jump start on the offense. We'll have to see who this is against.
And in a situation like that, Kellen Lewis went ahead and made the heads-up play. He just went ahead and threw the ball away as he saw that his receivers pretty much stopped right there before he could even have a chance of throwing it downfield and maybe going ahead and connecting for a touchdown.
Yeah, finishing the play can be important. Flags sometimes don't mean what you think they may, and if he'd gotten sacked in the backfield, Blazers may have been stuck with a loss on that one. So that was a smart veteran play.
But the good thing is, even if the wide outside had kept going on that play, but it might have been blown dead by the refs. I couldn't hear it up here with all this crowd noise. You know, the fans are extremely hype right now.
Well, there was an encroachment call, so the Blazers gained 5 yards on the play, and it's now 1st and 5. The ball is on the 20-yard line inside Newberry territory. Defense looks to be bringing a rush. You're rushing the passer, but we know Kellen Lewis has good legs. Lewis seems to be calling an audible. Again, Nelson is in the backfield with him. They are bringing a blitz. He fires across the middle to number 6, R.J. Bastone, the senior, and he dropped it. So what potentially, Bastone is known for being a good slot receiver. That's exactly what he was doing. He was cutting right across the middle just then, and if he'd held on to it, it may have been 6 points.
And that's just one of the problems that the VSU's offense has been facing tonight. I mean, we have a lot of people that are getting wide open because the corners actually they're playing off and giving cushion, but they're dropping the passes.
You think that has anything to do with the effectiveness of the VSU run, or?
I mean, if you don't respect the pass, why would you respect the run?
The ball is snapped. It's handed to Ronnie Nelson, who takes it somewhat up the middle. He kind of cuts around, makes a few moves, and gains a couple yards. Looks like he's brought down around the 18 or 19-yard line.
But I promise you, if Ronnie Nelson keeps running like that, we're going to see a whole lot more men in the box, and it should open things up for the wide receivers on the outside.
Hey, as long as they can hold on to the ball, then we'll have some good yardage.
And we have the replay here, and we see Ronnie Nelson running through a couple arm tugs, but then he was finally caught by the shoestrings, it seems like.
And he picked up the first down, so this is the Blazers' most successful drive thus far. They're in the red zone, looking to capitalize here. Again, Nelson in the backfield along with number 20, Gerald, The ball is snapped. Kellen Lewis looks for his receiver, number 8, Cedric Jones. Hits him in the hands, wrapped up immediately, and he cannot reel it in. Another drop pass by the VSU receivers. Hopefully this will not continue to be a theme tonight.
Yes, hopefully it's not. I mean, he had a good chance, but the ball was kind of high that Kellen Lewis threw, and if he'd have actually been by himself and had a little time, he probably could have had enough concentration where he would have reeled the ball in.
Yep. There was a lot of pressure on Cedric Jones. No surprise, the All-American will probably be receiving attention all night and all season. Kellen Lewis checks things down, receives the snap. He has several receivers open. Number 1 in the backfield. The pass is broken up by a Newberry defender.
And It seems as if the secondary for the Newberry team is all over the field tonight. Whereas usually it's the Blazer defense who is all over the place. I mean, I'm used to seeing a multiple 8 coming from the Newberry defense, but it seems tonight they're going with more of the 4-3 look, which might kind of be throwing the Blazer offense off a little bit.
It's broken up by number 20.
Cedric Evans was the intended receiver on the play. It was thrown a little deep, and there were defenders back there, so it was going to be a tough catch to make either way. But VSU has another shot at it here with 3rd and 10. Let's see if we can make something happen. Again, Kellen Lewis. I don't know if he doesn't like what he sees on the other side of the ball, but VSU is taking a timeout. So VSU takes a timeout with 9 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock.
And VSU is still down 10-0 from Newberry.
Well, Blaze FM 90.9 on your...
Well, with 9 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in the quarter, and Newberry leading this game by 10, we're going to go ahead and take a few messages.
Filing for Social Security online is so easy, a beatnik can do it with his laptop in any malt shop.
All right. And we're back from those messages and returning to the action on the field. The Blazers again they're at 3rd and 10. There's another flag on the play. Kellen Lewis delivered a bullet to Cedric Jones, but it was after the flag, so it won't be going anywhere. It's obvious now that we're in the red zone. Our All-American wide receiver is getting more attention.
And it looked like I seen number 72 on the offensive line. He jumped a little early and got a head start. Mesh Wakamatu. And that's one of our true freshmen starting for VSU this year on the offensive line. Oh, pardon me, it wasn't number 72. It looked like number 72 made the jump first.
It was false start number 66.
Jamarian
Brown, the offensive guard. He's a junior. Another big guy. He's 5'11", 313 pounds. He's out of Adel, Georgia. That time he got a little hasty and jumped offside. So it's now 3rd and 15. Ball on the 18-yard line. Blazers do have an opportunity here to score, whether by touchdown or field goal. So this could cut it from a 3-possession game down to a 1-possession game. Kellen Lewis looks to the end zone for number 8, Cedric Jones, who is taken out. He's hit pretty hard by the safeties. He gets up. He seems to be fine, but
once again, R.J. Reeder in there making a big play to make sure that the Blazers stay off the board. And here we are. We see right here that Kellen Lewis is scrambling, trying to buy a little time, and he throws to the back of the end zone. And then there you see it right there. The ball's batted away. We have 2 defenders over there making sure that is an incomplete pass.
Well, right now, number 89, Daniel Anderson, is lining up to put the VSU Blazers on the board, and he does. Connects with the field goal. It was from the 18-yard line, so it was about a 25-yard kick. So the Blazers are officially on the scoreboard. The score is now 10-3, Newberry leading with 8:40 left in the second quarter. So Trey, what did you see in that scoring drive by VSU? What were our successes, failures, weaknesses, whatever you may have seen?
Well, the good thing I can say for the VSU offense is it looks like they're starting to slowly get into a rhythm. At the very beginning of the drive, they had a lot of momentum. They were running the ball well. Kellen Lewis was seeing his wide receivers, and he was making the plays with his leg, trying to buy a little time, and he was actually finding players down the field. The only negative thing I saw in that drive, though, was a lot of the wide receivers were making a lot of drops. I mean, and then if not that, the defensive side of the ball, Newberry is actually playing pretty hard. They're swarming, just like you usually see the Blazers do. They're getting to the ball extremely fast, breaking up the passes, or if not that, they're making sure they get their hands on the receiver to make sure they don't feel comfortable when they get the ball.
Yeah, I have to admit, I've seen very few passes thrown to our receivers where at least 1 or 2 defenders weren't within a very close vicinity of them. So even when we do connect with our receivers, it's not been for big gains because of the strong coverage that this Newberry defense is bringing. Daniel Anderson is preparing for another kickoff. He connected again with about a 25-yard field goal. Excuse me, it was a 35-yard field goal. It's a 13-play drive with 60 yards. It took 4 minutes and 42 seconds. And we're getting ready to kick off again. Let's see if the Blazers can shut down the Newberry offense this go around. Ball is kicked. It's a high kick. Makes it to about the Newberry 10 or 11. It is Tyndall that has the ball, and he's bringing it up the middle He's a fast receiver. I have to give it to him. He's brought down at the 45-yard line, so another outstanding return for the Newberry kick returns. Looks like about 35 yards.
And he was caught by number 31, Ryan Smith, who's actually making a pretty big stop right there on the special team. If Smith hadn't got in to make that tackle, anything could possibly happen. As you can see, Tindall's making a run up the middle. He has a lot of daylight, but then Smith comes in at the last minute, and I'm pretty sure he was in Tindall's blind spot, and he went ahead and made the tackle for the go-ahead play.
Well, Newberry's setting up their offense and preparing for another drive. Seems to be equipment issues with Tyndall Kelton. There's a pass from Brandon Gant to number 14, who is David Presley. Presley picks up decent yardage on the play.
It looks like it's pretty close to the first down marker there, Josh.
Yep, they crossed midfield on that one.
Back off into Blazer territory, which looks like where the Newberry offense has been living all day.
It's actually second down and 3 yards to go, so they'll be looking to try and pick up a first down on this play. The ball's on the 48-yard line. Brandon Gant setting up the offense. There's a receiver in motion. The ball is snapped and handed off. The runner is brought down pretty quickly, but I think he may have. It looks like he definitely got enough for a first down.
And then some.
And then some. About a yard or two more.
The Newberry defense is the offense is making sure they keep the Blazer defense on its heel. They're doing a lot of different things. Like you said, they have a very balanced attack. 1 minute they're going through the air, picking up big yardage, and the next minute they're going ahead and pushing it right up the middle on the ground.
Again, another handoff by Brandon Gant to his runner. This time the play was stopped pretty short. There may have actually been a loss on this one. The ball was handed off to number 10.
And we have a player down on the field. It looks like number 92, Jamario Jones.
Jamario Jones, that's a big part of the Blazer defense there.
He was one of the first players to make it to the running back. It was him and number 11, DeMarcus Flanagan. Make sure they got the stop, but now it looks like Jones, he's down for a second, and the training staff is out checking on it.
Well, number 10, Alkeem Sherman, was the runner that time. He's a junior. He's been seen a few times tonight. He took it up the middle, and it does look like Demario Jones was one of the first to get to him. He's being attended to by the trainers while the rest of the team kind of gets a water break. All right, he's walking off the field. Demario Jones seems to be okay. He's going off under his own power. There is 7 minutes and 21 seconds left in the game, and in the second quarter. Demario is walking off under his own power, so that's a good sign.
Well, I guess, Josh, what we can really focus on right now while we have a little downtime is that the main thing here is, so far, Newberry is actually completely dominating VSU. So far, they have 8 first downs to VSU 7, which isn't that big of a difference, but when you look at the rushing yards, VSU is actually outdoing them on the rushing yards, but the passing where it really comes into play. Newberry has 150, while VSU only has 41.
Well, play is back. Number 13, Brandon Gant, receives a snap and looks across the middle to Kelton Tyndall, who is hit pretty hard.
And met pretty quickly.
Yeah, I couldn't tell exactly who the hit was by. Looks like number 7, Josh Wiley.
The strong safety coming up to make the big play.
Again, Kelton Tyndall was the one with the catch. A few more hits like that, he might be a little skittish to go across the middle.
So far, the Newberry defense has ran 30 plays for 189 yards.
Brandon Gant's looking to the sideline. Trey, what is this receiver setup that we're looking at here right now? Can you tell?
It's what's most called a little duck in a row type deal to kind of throw the cornerbacks off so they kind of run into each other as they're coming out of the routes.
The ball is snapped. Brandon Gant's having to scramble to his left. He's got speed. He beats the outside defenders and gets around them to pick up about another 10 yards. It's going to be close. It's going to be a first down.
Freshman Ryan Smith, number 31, was there on the tackle to make sure that Gant didn't go any further than he already did, but by that time it was already too late. He had already picked up the first down for Newberry.
Well, the ball is on the VSU 31. It's a first down for them. They're going to be continuing this drive. So far, they've continued with the well-balanced attack thus far, Trey. A lot of running and passing.
This offense is operating very efficiently here today, Josh, and that's pretty much all you can say.
They have a man in motion. The ball again is handed off. to number 10, Alkeem Sherman.
And Kier Moore, number 50, was back there in the backfield on the tackle. As you can see right here, number 10 goes right out the middle, and he meets Kier Moore right there. As soon as he thinks he sees some daylight, Moore goes ahead and shut the play down in the backfield.
That was a good play by the defensive end. Newberry offense is facing a second down, 12 yards to go.
And as you can see, the signal leader for the Blazers, number 32, Larry Dean, out there trying to make the adjustments.
The ball is snapped. Gantz looking to pass. He connects with his receiver, number 81, who is David Brown. Another big receiver, 6'3", 195 pounds. He's a senior this year.
And some of the players on the field saying it looks like the ball came out. But the good thing about that play is the defense was able to get to the wide receiver very fast and went ahead and held him for maybe a yard gain. And the Blazers do have the ball.
VSU recovers another fumble. That swarm defense is working very well right now, Trey.
See, this is what I expected to see from the Blazer defense in the first place, Josh, for them to come out with a lot of intensity, make all the plays necessary to go ahead and put themselves on top. But maybe, like we said earlier, they got a brand new team practically. They got to gel a little bit and trying to get their chemistry down patted. And once they get all that taken care of, I feel as if this Blazer defense can go ahead and make a couple more big plays and go ahead and get the Blazer offense in position to get back in this game.
Well, that's good news for the Blazer offense that they're back on the field. Another opportunity for this new quarterback and his core of receivers and runners and blockers to all get in sync and make something happen. It's now 5:24 left in the second quarter. Blazers 1st and 10, ball on the 30-yard line of the Newberry end of the field. Lewis receives the snap. He's looking for a receiver. Now having to scramble. He's being chased. He connects with number 6, who is R.J. Bastone, the senior.
And see, this is the type of thing that the Blazers need right here. If they can go ahead and put something together on this drive right here, Josh, this could change the momentum in the game big time in VSU's favor.
Well, that was a great pickup for the senior R.J. Bastone, making up for a drop pass earlier. It's another first down for VSU. Kellen Lewis really did a good job of creating that play with his scrambling and his arm.
And
Ronnie Nelson's now in motion. Snap. Kellen Lewis looking to pass again. Again, he's scrambling. He has yardage ahead of him. He could run. Oh, but he throws. It's again R.J. Bastone who makes the catch. Down to the the 1 or 2 yard line in Newberry territory. This is the first major offensive threat that VSU has made all night, and it was a great catch.
What a spectacular catch by R.J. Bastone. As you see here, Lewis is buying time. He has plenty of protection in the pocket, but he sees that he's getting a little pressure from behind him. So he scrambles out to the outside, buys a little time, and he keeps his eyes downfield, which most great quarterbacks do. And then he finds his wide receiver, R.J. Bastone, and he throws it deep downfield. And R.J. Bastone comes up with one heck of a catch right there. He juggled the ball and still came up with the completion.
All right, ball on the 3 yard line. The Blazers receive the snap. Kellen Lewis hands off to Ronnie Brown, who takes it in the end zone. Blazer touchdown.
And Ronnie Nelson just ran in and he was untouched. I mean, that was one of the best drives the Blazers have put together today. And if they keep putting drives together like that, Josh, we can pretty much go ahead and pack this thing up and call it a game.
Well, there was consistency there on that drive. A lot of good communication interaction amongst the players. All it takes now is for Daniel Anderson to put this one through the uprights and tie this game up.
But you got to talk about the tremendous focus R.J. Bastone had on that completion. I mean, not too many people can tip the ball up to themselves while getting tackled and still keep their eye on the ball to catch it.
I was scared. Here's the kick. And the game is tied now 10-10 with 4 minutes and 39 seconds left in the second quarter. We'll be preparing for another kickoff here in just a second. But as you were saying, R.J. Bastone, initially the pass hit him in the hands, and I have to admit I was a little nervous it was going to be another drop ball, but he stayed focused, stayed with it, and reeled it back in while being tackled. And now here we are with a 10-10 score in the second quarter.
And I'm looking forward to see what this VSU offense comes out here and do for the rest of the night. It looks like it took them a little time to get their feet wet since I guess they have a brand new quarterback and everything, but I look for them to continue on the progress that they've made thus far and keep it up for the rest of the night.
Blaze FM 90.9 on your radio dial is back on the air. That means that Skip Gildersleeve has returned with, lest we forget, a celebration of college radio's past every Sunday night at 9 p.m. on WVVS. The Blazer kicking team is returning to the field after a strong scoring drive there. Again, Kelton Tyndall, the ever-dangerous returner and receiver, is in the backfield, along with number 31, S.J. Worrell, one of the most active runners for Newberry today.
And on that drive right there, it only took the Blazers 45 seconds to go ahead and put up a score. They did 3 plays and covered 70 yards.
That's very impressive.
That's about as good as it get right there, Josh.
It's a drastic cut from their last possession, which required 13 plays only for a field goal, so it was a very efficient drive. Here's the kickoff. It's a strong kickoff. This one's going to make it to about the Newberry 9-yard line. Kelton Tyndall received it. He's hit and brought down at about the 25-yard line. That was the best coverage we've seen all night by the VSU kick return team.
Yeah, he was met by number 29, Devin Cannon, and number 31, Ryan Smith, the freshman, out there trying to make very big plays. That's the second time we've called this man's name out here on the special teams tonight.
Number 43, Brett Suddeth, is slow to get up on the field. Brett's a true freshman. He's a strong safety for the VSU Blazers. He's being attended to right now by the medical staff. Have to admit, Trey, tonight we've seen a lot of people slow to get up. I guess this is a very physical game.
And it looks like Coach David Dean is on the field, and looks like he's very hyped up right now. He's very upset about something. Obviously, he doesn't like what he just seen on that last play.
He looks very unhappy. I don't know if he thought there was a dirty play involved or what it may be, but Coach Dean is very upset with the current situation of his player. That just shows, I just saw Larry Dean going up to Coach Dean trying to help calm him down a little bit. That just kind of shows the leadership ability that Larry Dean possesses and carries throughout this team.
And that's what we expect from Larry Dean. That he's one of the top defensive players on the VSU defense. I mean, he's been around this program for the last 3 years, and this is what we expect from him. He's a junior this year. He knows the defense like the back of his own hand, and he's trying to make sure that everything is okay, and he's just looking out for his teammates, and he wants the best with his team.
Well, Trey, after that touchdown and the kickoff and the success that the Blazers experience right now, the momentum has definitely, it feels like it's swung to the Blazers. The stadium, everybody was on their feet, excited. Currently, the situation with the VSU player on the field has let a little air out of the crowd. They're kind of concerned about what's going on, but I mean, that was a great momentum swing. Hopefully we'll have some more of that.
Yes, if the Blazers can keep this up, I mean, this could, like I said, this is possible to be a win for the Blazers. The only thing is, I mean, the crowd is really into the game, but for right now, we're just a little concerned about our down player on the field. But I'm pretty sure as soon as the action gets back started, we'll go ahead and pretty much pick up where we left off. But while we have a little time on the field, on August the 31st, the VSU softball team will partner with Zeta Beta Phi sorority to host a campus-wide blood drive. Stop by the PE complex mezzanine from noon until 8 p.m. in the evening to donate blood. For more information, visit the American Red Cross and givelife.org.
Well, it's currently 4 minutes and 33 seconds left in the second quarter. The game is tied 10-10. The Blazers just had their most impressive offensive possession of the night. The field position for Newberry will be really, I guess, I hate to call it their worst possession of the night or their worst starting point, but I mean, they're going to be on the 25-yard line. They've become accustomed to being closer to midfield after their returns from Kelton Tyndall. The player is being helped off the field. He seems to be walking pretty well on his own. He is being assisted, but he seems to be all right. Again, that player is Brett Suddeth. Hopefully we'll get a report on him soon, but he should be all right. Seems to be okay from here. The Newberry offense is preparing to begin their drive again. See number 26, Matt Pierce, the freshman back there. He's communicating with number 21, Rashad Etheridge, the senior. That just kind of shows the seniors really stepping up and helping the freshmen.
And as you can see, Josh, all of Blazer Nation is on their feet trying to make sure they pump up the crowd and this defense.
The ball is snapped. Brandon Gant hits his check down receiver to the right. And he is brought down after the ball looked to have come loose, but we don't know that there's a flag on the play. Two flags on the play.
And he was met by number 7, Josh Wiley, and it looked like it was also number 37, number 32, Larry Dean over there making the stop. Well, as you can see here on the we play, he throws it out to number 2, David Smith. And as you can see, we have Blazers. Oh, it was number 33 and number 7. So that wasn't Larry Dean. I just give Larry Dean so much credit because this man is all over the field. He plays sideline to sideline every night.
We're so accustomed to seeing him involved, but it was Marcel Horn is number 33 for the VSU Blazers that was in on that tackle.
Yeah, him and Josh Wiley making a big play for the VSU defense.
Hey, VSU Nation, Blazer Nation, they're getting excited, Trey.
Oh, they have plenty of reason to be excited here, Josh.
They're getting very involved.
And as you can see, the flag here going in VSU's favor. They're backing them up.
It was a personal foul on number 71 on Newberry's offense, who is Matt Holmes, the offensive lineman. He's a junior. Just cost his team quite a bit of yardage there. Was that a 15-yard penalty, it looks like?
Yeah, and I can see the coaching staff down here on the Newberry sideline getting a little upset by that. He's a junior. He should know better than make a play like that, especially when you're on the move and now you're pushing yourself back and making it a 2 and long when you possibly could have had a 2 and short.
But Newberry's getting ready to start a play from their own 10-yard line. Is handed off to a running back who picks up pretty solid yardage on that one, at least 5 to 8 yards. It was number 4, Brian Elrick. Brian Elrick sometimes substitutes in and out as quarterback. I guess was a part of a competition there. I see he's listed as a quarterback, so
maybe he does a little bit of both. I mean, he might be the Ronnie Nelson type. He's Mr. Do-It-All.
I guess the senior Brandon Gant must have beat him out for the position, so currently he is he's only a freshman. I guess that's what it is. It looks like Newberry's trying to get them some playing time and get some, in-game experience.
And we have a flag thrown down on the field. Let's go ahead and check in with the refs and see what exactly is going on here. I see them down here in the middle of the field. They're consulting with each other.
Yeah.
To make sure to get the call right.
I didn't exactly see anything to constitute a flag. Valdosta State received a sideline warning.
Which just went ahead and moved the ball for the Newberry offense and putting them where they had a 2 and 20, now bumps them up to a 3 and 13. And as you can see, once again, the Blazer Nation getting on their feet 100% behind their defense and trying to make sure they can make as much noise as possible to try to make sure that Newberry offense can't hear a single thing out there on the field.
The Blazer Nation and team do have resiliency, so that's probably a large part of the spirited crowd that we have here at VSU.
I mean,
Brandon Gant looks to be communicating with his linemen. It may have been an audible or a change in the play. We'll see what they're bringing. Larry Dean is pumped up and ready to go. Gant receives the snap. He throws a deep ball. Number 7, Josh Wiley, was there, as well as one of the cornerbacks. Can't see his number right now, but he was right there. Tyndall is getting a lot more attention than he was early on, and he was not open on that play.
And that's what they're going to have to do. It looks like it was the freshman, number 14, Alex Webster, out there right along trying to make the play and make sure he get to stop it. Lucky if he'd have been just a little bit faster, he probably could have came away with the interception.
Might have. There was a good effort on that play. Was it number 14 that we were looking at? It was Alex Webster, number 14, actually laid out for that ball and came just short. Here comes Brandon Gant in the offense again. Oh, excuse me, it's the punter. And we have our number 80. Just caught the ball. He's taking it upfield. Gains about 15 yards on the play. That was Chris Wellborn. He's a wide receiver sophomore for VSU. The best punt return on the night for the Blazers.
And here you see right here that he had a little seam right up the middle, and he made one man miss, but then he ran into another group of Newberry defenders. And number 33, Marcus Neelam, went ahead and brought him down to make sure he didn't go any further.
Well, number 80, Chris Wellborn, just picked up a 20-yard return on that one. Best return VSU has had on the evening. Let's see if we can get another successful scoring drive. VSU's already in Newberry territory. They've crossed the half field line. The ball's on the 40. Kellen Lewis receives the ball. Looks deep for Cedric Jones. It looks like touchdown VSU. Cedric Jones with another fine catch on the evening, and this one goes for 6.
And this is what I expect to see. The momentum has completely shifted from the beginning of the game. Newberry had all the momentum in the first quarter, and now it looks like this Blazer offense said, we had enough of this. We're getting back in this game. We're at home, and we got to give the fans a show.
Well, if you can hear this crowd, there is not a single person sitting down. It is wild. People are excited. This is the Blazer football people are accustomed to, and hopefully this will be what we see for the rest of the evening. Again, Daniel Anderson lines up for the extra point. Russ Calloway will be the holder. With this, VSU, if we kick this through, will be up 17-10. There's the snap and the hold. The extra point is good. So VSU takes a 17-10 lead with 3 minutes and 8 seconds left in the second quarter.
And as you can see, Josh, once again, the VSU defense not wasting much time getting the ball downfield. Just like the last time, it only took them 45 seconds to score on the last drive. This drive only took them 10 seconds. It was a one play, 40 yards.
They're getting more and more efficient. I mean, at the rate they're going, 13 plays to 3 plays to 1 play. Kellen Lewis may not be back on the field for the rest of the night if we keep going at this rate. We may just be returning kickoffs.
Before you know it, they might just go ahead and put pretty much all the freshmen in, let them go ahead and get a little bit of experience and, you know, try to see how much talent we actually have on this team. And this, once again, this is the team chosen to pretty much go all the way.
That was a quick strike to Cedric Jones, the All-American. It's 14 points that have been unanswered now from Newberry. VSU finding their groove and really putting things together here on the offensive side of the ball. The defense has been stepping up too. What have you been seeing, Trey?
I've been seeing a lot of good things out of defense. Now they're making sure that Kelton Tyndall doesn't get wide open. He doesn't get behind the safeties and the cornerbacks. They're actually double teaming him on the outside, and when he actually gets behind the coverage, now they actually have 2 people that are right there within the arm length to make sure that he has a little pressure on him nowadays.
I think VSU has realized just how quick and nimble he is.
And another thing I must say is we've been talking about how the Blazer Nation has come in and they've been supporting their team this whole night, but look at the Newberry side of the field. I mean, this is a lot of Newberry fans here supporting their team tonight.
Yeah, it is a close to capacity crowd here tonight. I mean, there are very few seats open from what I can tell up here, but Newberry's crowd did travel well. They're all sitting down right now. They've been a little deflated.
Yeah, they had all the momentum. They were pretty hyped up at the beginning of the game, but now they're looking for the team to try to get back in it.
It's a great kick from Daniel Anderson. Reaches about the 8-yard line of Newberry territory. It was returned by number 20, who is Kamal McElwain. He brought it back for about a 15-yard, 20-yard return.
And McElwain is also, like I've been saying all night, one of those top premier players on the defensive side of the ball. Even though he's a reserve, he plays a very big role in the defensive secondary for Newberry.
Well, it's time to see exactly where the Blazer defense is now. There's 3 minutes and 2 seconds left in the half. Trey, if we can shut them down right here and maybe tack on another score, whether it be field goal or touchdown here, this game's going to be broken open here at the half.
It looks like the Blazers are trying to do just that.
Tyndall is in motion, but it's a handoff to number 31. There's S.J. Worrell. There's a big hit on Worrell.
And see, they set him up for that one right there, Josh. As you can see, number 44 got in the backfield with her, Ratu Rebella, and then he set up number 94, Demetrius Bozeman, to make the big hit. Right, look at this right here. He makes a straight arm, and then he made one man miss, but then number 94 was right there to go ahead and pick up the pieces and make sure he didn't go any further.
Well, Ratu Rebello was credited with the tackle, and it was a nice one at that. It's now 2nd down and 12 yards to go with the ball on the 28. Another receiver in motion. Actually, that's S.J. Worrell, the running back. Gant receives the ball, rolls to his right, hits Tyndall, it looks like. Tyndall does not look like an easy person to bring down. Just then, that swarm defense, it required nearly three players to get him down.
I mean, when you are 6'3", 200 pounds, I'm pretty sure that 200 pounds is probably pretty much all muscle, if not all muscle. I mean, Tyndall is one of the premier wide receivers in the SAC, as well as we both know, and he's just doing what he feels he needs to do to try to keep his team in this game. I mean, after coming out and making a couple big plays after he dropped a couple passes, he's just trying to make the plays he feels necessary that he has to make to keep his team in it.
Brandon Gant is checking on his offense, receives the snap. He's rolling to his left. He's taking it himself and running. He gets by the first defender who dove for an ankle tackle but didn't get much further. He did pick up decent yardage on the play, though.
And once again, number 94, Demetrius Bozeman, was in on the tackle. He was one of the first defenders, as you can see here. He had plenty of time in the pocket. Gant was just trying to buy some time with his legs, but he couldn't get any of his wide receivers open, so he decided to take it himself. And then, as you can see, number 94, number 65, and number 44 all grabbed it around about the same time, but I'm pretty sure 94 was given the tackle.
The ball is snapped and thrown to number 14, who actually came back for the ball. That was David Presley, and he still is not down.
Once again, where you have the problem where we have little men as far as the cornerbacks go. I mean, we're only 190-some pounds. We don't have any corners that I know of over 200 pounds. And then number 14, David Presley, he is 5'11", 200. I mean, he might be short, but he's a pretty big receiver.
He's stout. That pass was actually caught near the defensive line. Presley came back for that one. It looked to me as though the pass was going to someone else. Valdosta has just taken a timeout. And with that timeout, we're going to take a commercial break here for just a second. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back here after a few messages.
I thought indoor tanning was safe. They said their tanning rays were less likely to cause a sunburn.
What you need to know is UV light from indoor tanning
Can cause premature aging,
and even worse, UV light can increase your risk of skin cancer,
including melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer.
In fact, current estimates are that 1 in 5 Americans develop skin cancer.
And 1 person dies from melanoma about every hour.
I don't want to be one of them.
This message brought to you by the American Academy of Dermatology.
Welcome back to Bazemore-Hyder Stadium, where the score is 17 to 10 VSU Blazers. There is 57 seconds left in the first half. It's been a physical first half. A lot of optimism on the side of the VSU field. Seen some big plays here recently, has gotten Blazer Nation very excited. We need to shut down this drive here now. Brandon Gant receives the snap for Newberry. He's rolling to his left because he has pressure on him. Larry Dean was right there, and Gant had to get rid of the ball, threw it into the stands.
And see, that's the type of play you expect from your senior quarterback. When he sees that he has pressure coming at him, he has to go ahead and, when he knows he's outside of the pocket, go ahead and get rid of the ball to make sure his team doesn't lose any yards.
I have to give it to you. That was definitely a good play right there. A lot of people will try to make something out of nothing. I think that might be what happened to Kellen Lewis earlier in the game, throwing his first pick. It's now 3rd down and 1 with the ball on the 45. Brandon Gant receives a snap. He drops it. He takes it himself, and it's going to be close.
And he stretched out for the first down right there at the end, and I'm pretty sure they're going to go ahead and give it to him. It depends on the spot of the ball, and from the spot that I'm seeing, it looks like he got enough for it, like he might be a inch, a yard or two over the first down marker. Yeah, they went ahead and gave the first down to the Newberry offense.
So the ball is now on the 44-yard line, and it's a first down for Newberry.
And it looks like the defense is once again probably having a little trouble trying to get this Newberry offense off the field. But I guess the main issue is where they're actually making mistakes and they're actually working out for them.
The ball is snapped. There's 40 seconds left in the quarter. Ball is thrown and completed. He hit his receiver number 14, David Presley. And Presley's been pretty active tonight, Trey.
And it looks like it's going to be another Newberry first down. It's like he went down around the 39-yard line, and they only need to get to around the 38. But once again, like I was saying, they're just keeping this Blazer defense on his heels once again. They're like doing the hurry-up offense and trying to go ahead and take advantage of these last few seconds.
The ball is snapped. Gant. It's been whistled dead by the referees. It is a hurry-up offense, though. They are definitely running to the line of scrimmage, getting things done. So when this ends, how do I go?
And then we have a timeout down here on the field by Valdosta State University. And like Coach Dave Dean wants to talk it over with his defense to try to make sure that Newberry doesn't take advantage of this little bit of time left where they're already in VSU territory.
Yep, they're very close to field goal range already, so unless there is a turnover or a loss of yardage, it's going to be tough for the Blazers to keep them from putting points on the board right here, but it could happen.
See, but the good thing is about this situation, I can possibly say, Josh, that the thing is now it's not necessarily that they're working against the VSU defense. They're they are, but they're also working against the time clock as well.
That is true. Kind of two defenses here.
Exactly. I mean, if you're constantly looking at the time on the clock instead of trying to worry about what you're doing downfield, I mean, that could cause some confusion out there on the field as well as maybe an incomplete pass or like a bobble snap like we just seen just then.
Yeah, people have a tendency to rush their task that they're trying to do, and that can cause fumbles and, like you said, turnovers. So we'll see what happens with this hurry-up offense. There are 24 seconds left in the half. Blazers are looking to bring some pressure on this play, it looks. Another low snap. Gant drops back and throws deep. There is nobody there but Blazers. That was a great defended play right there. Number 42, Dudley Spence, was in the picture, as well as number 14, Alex Webster, the freshman. Maybe Webster's finally getting his feet wet.
Yeah, it looks like he's really starting to get the hang of what it actually means to be a starter on this VSU defense. He's making all the right reads, and he's trying to make sure he keep his wide receiver who he's defending in front of him instead of letting him get behind him.
Well, after that play, there is now 18.1 seconds left on the clock. So there won't be probably more than 2 plays left in this series.
Well, it's 2nd down and 10 right now, and I'm expecting the Blazer defense to go ahead and try to rush the passer once again.
Again to the air, looking for David Presley. The ball goes out of bounds. The clock stops at 11 seconds.
And once again, what you would like to see from the Blazer defense, even though they're outmatched by size from the Newberry wide receivers, they're not giving up. They're being very physical, which is what David Dean likes to see from his cornerbacks. He wants to make sure that his wide receivers his cornerbacks are in the vicinity of the wide receiver and make sure they try to break up the pass.
Well, looking from an optimistic standpoint, the cornerbacks really are finding their groove out there, and they have been all over this pass attack this time. 11 seconds left on the clock. It's 3rd and 10. Gant scrambling to his left with pressure. There's a flag on the field. Completes a pass to guess who? Kellen Tyndall, who picks up some decent yardage but is brought down. Looks as though there's a timeout on the field. Kellen Tyndall called that right after he was tackled.
But before we go too far, there was a hold on the field, and it looks like it's going to be coming back and put them in a 3rd and 15 situation instead of that it was close to being a 4 and maybe 2 situation.
That is great news for the VSU Blazers. A 5-yard penalty, that's going to put a strain on their kicker's leg if they do decide to go for a field goal here.
But then again, you also have to wonder how strong is their kicker's leg.
Well, based on the kickoffs, he does have a decent boot on him, so he may be capable of putting one through the uprights from this distance, but it will be a test of his ability.
See, but the thing is right here, it's do or die time right here, Josh. It's 1.4 seconds left on the clock. Are you going to take the long pass downfield to try to go ahead and score before the half and try to tie this thing up so you can kind of shift the momentum back in your favor before halftime, or are you going to go ahead and settle with the 3 points?
Well, I think that's what Newberry is deciding right now. The offense is walking over to the sideline.
Yeah, and it looks like the coach might have a little more guidance for him, and so they can go ahead and make this last play.
The Happening 2009 has been moved to September 3rd on the front lawn from 1 to 4 p.m. Make sure you stop by for free food, music, prizes, and fun. Booths are still available for organizations. Call 333-5674 for details. Again, I think Newberry is discussing strategy right here, trying to decide if they want to go for the field goal or for the touchdown. What do you expect here, Trey? Do you have a prediction?
Me personally, since they're already on the 42-yard line, the best situation, me personally, I would say is to go ahead and attempt the field goal if you think your kicker can make it. At the 42, I'm pretty sure they're way out of their kicker's range. But then again, I've seen them boot the football pretty far earlier. So I'm pretty sure they'll probably go ahead and take one last chance down the field. As you can see,
Brandon
Gant going back out on the field. So
the offense is back on the field. This is a very bold move here by Newberry. But then again, maybe they realize this is too far of a kick for their kicker, which is nothing to be ashamed of. It would be a boot. Well, we expect about one more play here. 1 second left on the clock. Brandon Gant receives a snap, scrambles to his right, and throws deep. He's looking for, it is caught, but is brought down. May have even been intercepted. It was kind of a jumble play there, but it's now 17-10. This is the end of the first half. It's been an interesting first half. Come back and join us for the second half here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium.
Someday, I'll be a ballerina, just like them. And this will be my stage, where I twirl and float and swirl. Someday, this won't just be my wish. Someday, I won't be sick.
Salam.
Jam.
Salam. Ewa.
Ride. Apa? Pa.
Mir.
Shanti.
Yep, Sangyokdi.
We all want the same thing.
Peace.
And Rotary clubs
Sola.
are making it happen.
Lucky.
Through international scholarships for young people to promote peace and understanding
La Fay.
around the world.
Señal Zahai.
Rotary. Humanity in motion.
Our magnificent trees have helped shape the American spirit. Trees that clear the air and protect the land. Thick forests of pine, birch trees, and apples. One tree has been selected by the people to represent all of America's trees. The oak, America's national tree, Go to the Arbor Day Foundation website, arborday.org. See which oaks or other great American trees are right for planting where you live. Discover the oak, America's national tree.
All right, we're back here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium, and we're about to get ready to kick off for the second half. We have kicker for Newbury back out on the field, number 29, Brett Blackman. Getting ready to go ahead and kick off. No, I'm sorry, number 34, Todd Moon. And the Blazers are set to return. And let's see how well this Blazer offense can fare in the second half if they can continue what they started in the end of the first half.
Hello. Nothing.
And it's a pretty deep kick, and it's all the way back almost to the 1 yard line. And we have number 16 here bringing it back out to the 20. Isaiah Jupiter with a 20-yard return almost. He was almost down to the pin on the first yard line and almost went back into the end zone.
VSU with a decent return. The ball is going to be near the 20-yard line, it looked like there. Isaiah Jupiter's done a good job of returning the ball tonight thus far. The ball is actually being placed at near the 23-yard line, so the Blazers will start from that point forward.
Yeah, that was a pretty good return by Jupiter. Once again, that's what we need. We need to get our special team players making pretty good plays and putting the offense in good positions so that they can go ahead and do what they've been doing, get the quick strike downfield for the score.
Well, that's what we're hoping for, and here Kellen Lewis is getting ready to start things off again. They ended on a hot note. Let's see if they can pick it back up. Number 30's in motion. Kellen Lewis hands the ball off to Ronnie Nelson, who takes it for about a 3-yard gain.
Once again, the Blazer offense just trying to get a feel for the game, I guess. I mean, after going in for halftime, coming back on the field, just trying to get the feedback on them.
They sent Gabe Molda in motion on that one, I guess, trying to lure the defense his way, but Ronnie Nelson actually took it up the middle. Didn't really fool many people. It's now second down with 6 yards to go. Kellen Lewis with the ball in his hands. Looks over to Cedric Jones, who was hit immediately.
And that was a very, very risky throw right there. If Cedric Jones had not have been there to break up that pass or attempted to go for that pass, it would have been a pick and probably could have went back the other way for a touchdown.
Well, the hit was so immediate, I almost for a second there thought we might get a pass interference. I mean, he was hit before the ball, it looked like, even hit his hand. So it was a good defensive play, very aggressive on the part of the Newberry defender. Kellen Lewis is setting up. He has one runner in the backfield, Ronnie Nelson. 4 wide receivers. Who sees the snap. He's looking to throw. He's having to move, scrambling to his left. There's a flag on the field. He's still on his feet moving. He throws the ball upfield, looking for number 19, who is Gerald Ford, and could not connect.
Yeah, that's just an instance where the rush got to him before he could actually get a very good look downfield and try to find his open receiver.
That was a good scramble there by Kellen Lewis. We saw somewhat of what he used to do at Indiana and what he's bringing to the Blazer offense.
But that's what you like to see from your starting quarterback, somebody that's actually able to make pretty good decisions as far as when to get rid of the ball, when to hold on to the ball, and when to run, and when to keep his eyes downfield.
That is one thing Kellen Lewis is good at, is keeping your eyes downfield, looking to make something happen. It's 4th down with 6 to go. The Blazers have elected to punt. Punter, sophomore Jack Fulford has taken the field. He's number 39. Jack is a great punter. Last year was recognized in the GSC as the best punter of the week. I think that was twice that happened for Jack. And he's been somewhat active tonight, mostly in the first quarter, but he's getting ready to put another one in the air. He receives it, gets the punt off. It's a beautiful spiral. He kicked it to about the 25-yard line in the Newberry territory. Number 3, Antonio Patton, is breaking one loose. He's stopped around the 45-yard line in Valdosta State territory. There is a flag on the play. We'll see what just happened. Number 10, David Arnold, was the one who was responsible for the tackle on that play.
But we also have a flag down on the field, Josh, so let's go ahead and check in and see what's going on. And as you can see here, David Patton had plenty of room to the outside, all the defensive backs up here trying to make the tackle, but there, as you can see there, Arnold sitting right there waiting on him, and as soon as he got there, just went ahead and made the stop. Make sure that Newberry didn't go ahead and get a quick score off of special teams.
All right, it looks like Brooks Burnett for Newberry made an illegal block in the back against a defender on Valdosta State. So the ball is actually being moved back to about the 44-yard line in Newberry territory. So a good little break there for the Blazers. They prevented it from being in Blazer territory. They're back in Newberry territory now, and looking to stop them on this drive.
And this is where the VSU defense gets to try to buckle down and make a play so the offense can get back on the field.
Running back in motion, snap is dropped. Number 13, gosh, he's so elusive. Josh Wiley along with number 33, Marcel Horn, make the tackle on that one. For a minute there, Trey, I thought we had him down in the backfield.
Yeah, for a minute it looked as if we could have had him in the backfield, but like you said, Gann is just so elusive. As you can see right here, he fumbled the snap, but then he was able to pick the ball up. He kept his eyes downfield, and then a couple of VSU defenders ran into each other, and he just does what he does best. He uses his legs as well as his arm, and he just makes the play.
On that play, I think Wiley and Marcel Horn caught a little bit of each other's helmets on that one. I'm sure they're both fine, though. Nobody seems to be hurt. Again, back in the offense, low snap, but it's thrown out. Good one-handed grab by the receiver, number 14. That's David Presley for Newberry. He made a pretty nifty little grab there, caught it with his left hand and brought it in. That was a nice grab.
And as you notice, he's going to his first and second options, which are usually his top two receivers on the team. Most of the passes have gone to David Presley and Kelton Tyndall all night, and it seems as if these guys are putting themselves in a position where they can make the big plays.
And they are doing just that. They've made a few big plays, but they're not scared to have the ball in their hands. I've noticed that. The ball it's a fake. It was handed off to number 45, Kelton Tyndall. No surprise. He's very active on the field tonight.
Yeah, Kelton Tyndall, he had a lot of daylight on the other side of the field. I mean, when they do that little motion across the field, it could possibly go anywhere. As you can see here, Larry Dean was in on the tackle. Number 50 was also in on the tackle, trying to make sure that Kelton Tyndall get more yards than he already gained. And like I said, Kiara Moore and Larry Dean are all over the field tonight.
Well, it's 2nd and 5 with the ball on the 38-yard line. Brandon Grant receives the snap. He's run up. He moved a little bit, but he found, can't see exactly who that is just yet. Is that number 81? That would be David Brown, a big receiver, 6'3", 185, 195.
And that's where the Newberry offense has been catching the VSU defense off guard all night. Gant gets the ball and looks as if he's about to scramble, but then in actuality, he's keeping his eyes down the field and he's making the pass, which is where the defense is cheating up, trying to make sure they stop the run, but he sees his wide receivers wide open and gets him the ball.
Yeah, definitely seen some similarities between Gant and Lewis tonight as far as mobility. All right, Gant's realigning his offense. S.J. Worrell went to his left now, receives a snap, fakes a handoff, passes out to David Presley, who rounded the corner, made a nice spin move, one blocker to beat, and he is in the end zone. Have to give it to him. David Presley made some athletic moves right there. Scored from the 24-yard line, so it looks like that'll be about a 24-yard reception / run into the end zone. All it takes now is an extra point. The game is tied again. So offensive strategy coming out of halftime. Evidently, the coaches of Newberry saw some weaknesses in the defense.
It's just the Newberry offense taking advantage of the cheating defense when they're coming up to try to prevent the run.
All right, here comes the extra point. The hold's good. The kick's good. And we are officially tied back up here at 17 apiece. 17 Valdosta State University, 17 Newberry. Here in the third quarter, we have 11 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. So,
and that's what Newberry has been doing all night. They've been constantly converting and getting their first downs. And as you can see there, that was 5 plays for 56 yards. And it took them 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go ahead and get that touchdown. And that was a 25-yard pass from Gant to Presley. And like I said, Presley and Hilton Tyndall have been his main 2 targets all night, and he's continuously finding them, and they're making big plays after the catch.
America During the Great Depression, a traveling exhibit from the Franklin D. Roosevelt Presidential Library and Museum, is at the VSU Art Gallery. The gallery is open during the week from 9 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. Call Gallery Director Julie Boland at 333-5835 for more details. The exhibit will run through September the 11th. That was a quick strike on behalf of Newberry to start the half here, Trey. What do you expect for the VSU offense to come back with here?
I expect them to come out and hopefully still try to have some of that momentum that they had before going into the halftime. But that score right there could shift momentum back in the favor of Newberry. I mean, even though Newberry has the most stats as far as passing, they have 263 yards passing, where VSU only has 148. It's still a tie game.
It is. It is a tie game, and it's been a tight one. I really feel like in the beginning, it was Newberry all the way, and VSU swung that momentum, and now it's right back where it should be.
And the main thing you would like to see from your offense is the time of possession. Newberry has had the ball for 20 minutes and 47 seconds compared to VSU, who's only had it for 12 minutes and 28.
So they're really controlling the clock and the tempo of the game. Well, we're preparing for another kickoff here by Newberry. Again, their kicker is Todd Moon. He's had a few good boots tonight. Let's see what he does here. It's a pretty high kick. It's going to about the 10-yard line in VSU territory. Number 16, Isaiah Jupiter with the reception. And Jupiter is going to be brought down at about the 23-yard line. As you can hear now, the Newberry fans are getting pretty excited. Kind of hate to say it, but the momentum somewhat swung back towards their favor.
And that was number 44, Jared Bailey, and number 41, Xavier Wallace, standing on the tackle of Jupiter to make sure he didn't go any further.
Tell you what, Isaiah Jupiter has been very consistent with his returns. Again, that previous scoring drive with Newberry was 5 plays. They went for 56 yards, concluding with a 25-yard reception and touchdown by David Presley from Brandon Gant.
And Presley now has 9 catches for 170 yards and a touchdown.
107 yards.
Yes, 107 yards. Sorry about that. Good idea.
I want to make sure he'd be getting close to some records down here tonight if he had 170.
Hey, the guy's a star.
Hope it doesn't happen. Number 15, Kellen Lewis receives the snap, looking to pass. Very pass-oriented offense tonight. He's rolling back towards the goal line. He's outrunning the lineman. He is very mobile. Oh, man, Kellen Lewis still on his feet. Very agile. Don't know that there was much of a gain there.
I don't think there was any gain.
I think he got back to the line of scrimmage.
He got back to the line of scrimmage or close to it.
He ran almost 40 yards, but unfortunately he only got back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, he made a lot of million-dollar moves, but only had a 10-cent finish down the end, Josh.
Yeah, I like that analogy there, Trey. But he showed off a little bit of what he can do if pressure is applied. You know, we've seen his arm tonight with a few good passes. That pass to Cedric Jones earlier and A.J. Bastone, and now we're seeing his mobility. I mean, I guess we could call it Vic-like, just being able to get away from tackles. Here he is receiving the snap again. Obviously passing, rolling to his right, rolling to his left, on the move. Finds Cedric Jones. Did he get his feet in bounds? He did not. The referees say that he came out of bounds with the catch. Cedric Jones looks pretty upset, as well as Blazer Nation. There are boos coming from all sides of this field.
And you can hear the crowd now letting the referees have it. As you can see right here, he had a little pressure coming in the pocket at first, but his halfback was able to pick it up. But then he tries to buy a little more time with his legs. As you see, he's flushed out of the pocket to the left side of the field. But then he finds his wide receiver, number 6, Cedric Jones number 8, Cedric Jones downfield, who was just out of bounds and couldn't pick up the first down.
Russ Calloway has checked in at quarterback with Ronnie Nelson in the backfield. It's third down with 9 to go. This is the first we've seen of Russ Calloway. He steps up, makes a throw, it's high, and it's picked off. It is picked off. It was intended for number 19, Gerald Ford, a freshman. He's 6'2", 270 pounds. He's a good-sized receiver. Unfortunately, Callaway left that one high. It was tipped and picked off.
Yeah, safety number 19, Brooke Burnett, came in, and he made the heads-up play. He saw the ball was tipped, and he was right there at the right time and just went ahead and made the play.
You know, I hate that Russ Callaway's start began like that. I don't know what that's going to do for his confidence. One play, one throw, one interception. Hopefully he won't let it get to him.
Well, when you make a play like that, I mean, that wasn't necessarily the quarterback's fault, even though he did kind of let the ball get away from him a little bit right there on the release. But usually you would expect if your wide receiver touches it, I'm always heard if your wide receiver touches it, it should have been a completion.
And if not completed, at least knocked down. So I guess that can be assessed either way. But Newberry's back on the field. They have very good field position. They're on the 30-yard line. The ball is handed off to S.J. Worrell, who should have been brought down the backfield, but somehow the young man found himself all the way up to nearly the 25-yard line. I think he got to the 27. He was hitting the backfield there, Trey. Evidently, he's just tough to bring down.
That was one of the main things I was learning about when we were talking about C.J. Warren coming into this game. Well, S.J. Warren, see how well he would be able to get out of the backfield and make the big plays instead of just being a power back. See how elusive he would actually be.
Well, he is 5'11", 225, so he's no easy tackle. Brandon Grant is ready for the snap, receives it, Looking to throw to the left side. He's looking deep, has number 2 wide open. I don't know exactly what happened on that play. Blown coverage without a doubt, but he could not have been any more open.
Once again, it looks as if it was a miscommunication on behalf of the defensive back. As you can see right here, he holds the safety, does a little pump fake, he rolls the shoulder a little bit, and he throws the ball straight down the field for completion to number 2, David Smith, who just backs on into the end zone and celebrates.
And as you can see on the screen, at the time the receiver caught the ball, there was no one even within the view of the camera. He was wide open. So, there's a botched snap. The hold is not good, and they're brought down, so they do not get the extra point. So now there's only a 6-point lead.
And that was
huge.
That was pretty good by the Blazer defense. I mean, that very seldom happens that somebody bobbles a snap, but it happened this time, and that makes it still a one-possession game, and the Blazers can take the lead if they get a touchdown.
Hey, that was a big play right there. Honestly, if VSU scores a touchdown, kicks their extra point, they're up by a point now. That could turn into a big factor later in this game. If it comes down to the wire, that may be the difference between an easy extra point and a not-so-easy 2-point conversion.
Exactly, Josh. And I mean, like you said, that could be the play that decides who does what here at the end.
I know plays like that have messed me up playing NCAA before, so it can come back to haunt you.
Yeah, it can come back to get you in the end. But all right, so that was a 2-play, 30-yard drive, and it only took them 40 seconds. It's like they're trying to take a couple ideas from the VSU offense here. I mean, the VSU's quickest score was 10 seconds. The second was 45. I mean, they're pretty much doing the same thing VSU is doing.
A 40-second scoring drive that involved 2 plays for 30 yards. But let's see if VSU can capitalize now. Again, we have Derek Harris and Isaiah Jupiter back to return the kick. The kick will be coming off the boot of Todd Moon.
And that was just a beautiful 27-yard pass from Gant to Smith to get the touchdown for Newberry.
Honestly, thus far, I don't know that Derek Harris has received the kickoff. Isaiah Jupiter has really been the primary target. I don't know that he's a target. He's just been the benefactor. He's been the receiver. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe it might continue a trend, or we might see Derek Harris bust out a few moves and maybe get us in some good field position.
Well, as we get ready for the kickoff, we'll see how well this VSU offense can bounce back from that turnover, that costly turnover that seems as if it gave all the momentum back to Newberry.
It's a good kick by Moon. It's down to about the 6-yard line in VSU territory where Isaiah Jupiter picks it up. Jupiter picks up a few good blocks there and brings it down to about the 32-yard line. That was a very good return on Jupiter's behalf, about a 26-yard return.
I mean, he's been doing it all night. I mean, every time his number's been called on the special teams plays, I mean, he's bringing the ball out at least to the 20-yard line. So that's pretty good as far as trying to set the offense up at somewhat of a decent position and try to go ahead and put them so that they can score.
Looking at Newberry's stats last season, they averaged almost 20 yards or 21 yards in returning. So VSU is nearing that tally themselves tonight with Isaiah Jupiter's 26-yard return just there. The ball is on the 30-yard line in Newberry territory. Russ Calloway is still the quarterback, so Coach David Dean may be more concerned with seeing how his quarterback can play rather than using Kellen Lewis anymore. That was a great run by David Arnold, number 10. I think he might have picked up a first down on that one, Trey.
And once again, Josh, like we were told before, when they want to go ahead and bang the ball on the inside, or if not that, try to get their big bruiser in there to pick up the tough yardage, they turn to David Arnold.
And it was a Blazer first down, so this is a good start to a good drive, hopefully a good drive. Strong return, first down on the first play. Let's see what Russ Calloway goes with from here. Receives the snap, hands it back off to David Arnold, who uses a spin move. I think he probably picked up about 2 yards on that play. He was hit pretty solidly, it looked like by a linebacker. I didn't see the number of which one hit him just then, but I think he got just past the line of scrimmage on that one, probably about a 2-yard pickup.
If it was that much, Josh. It depends on where the spot of the ball is, because it kind of looks like it's either right at the line of scrimmage or a little behind it.
No gain on the play.
No gain on the play. I guess I was just being an optimist.
Yeah, I guess you're entitled to that.
Well, Russ Calloway resets the offense. He has 3 receivers and 2 running backs in the backfield. This is a play setup I haven't seen just yet. Fakes the handoff to number 1. Rolls to his right looking to pass. Risky throw, but he does get it all the way out of bounds. Unfortunately, there's a flag on the play. Don't know exactly what it may be just yet.
But once again, as you can see, we have two veteran quarterbacks out here who are actually making very great decisions when it comes to managing the game and protecting the ball. As he was flushed out of the pocket, as you've seen, he saw that he didn't have anything open down the field, and he just decided to go ahead and throw the ball away.
Initially, I was a little worried when the ball left his hand. It looked like he was going for number 2, Derek Harris, who, from what I could tell from our position, he was in double coverage. I was a little worried he was going to try and force something to make it happen. And really, right now, VSU is not in a position to throw an interception. There was a flag on the play. VSU is the benefactor of it. It was against Newberry. It's going to award VSU with another first down and move them past the 50-yard line. They are now at about the 46-yard line. So that was a positive move for VSU on that play.
And anything helps, Josh. Anything helps.
Especially in a game as close as this one, Trey.
Yes.
A lot of running backs in motion right now. Number 37, Evan Giles, checks in. He's been in motion. Russ Callaway hands the ball off to Derek Harris, who has blazing speed. Moves the middle very well. Looks like he picked up probably about 8 yards on that run, Trey. We'll have to wait for the official spot, but it looked like he got a pretty decent gain right there.
Yeah, he made sure he burst through the hole, and he hit it with conviction. As you can see, he just picks the ball up right here. He sees a little daylight, and he runs straight through the hole until he's brought down by number 8 on the defense, and he picked up some good yardage.
And sure enough, he got 8 yards on the carry. It's second down, 2 yards to go with the ball on the 38. Russ Callaway with the snap again, and it's right back to Derek Harris, who has another phenomenal run, probably about 5 yards on this carry. So another Blazer first down. This is turning into a pretty good series here for the Blazers.
And Harris is doing what you would like to see your running back doing. He's going to the side, and then he's seeing the lanes open up on the inside, and he's cutting the ball back on the inside. As you can see, he sees it right there, and he cuts back, and he goes up into the hole until he's brought down.
Certainly don't want to overlook the offensive line. Evidently, they're doing some great blocking down there, getting these guys open looks. Ball's handed off again to Derek Harris. He was brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Didn't really get very far on that one, but he hit the hole hard. I don't know if you can tell, but Derek Harris, it looks like, has some dreadlocks. I think on that play he actually got tackled by him.
Well, as you can see, we came out of the halftime, and Newberry has put up 2 quick touchdowns on the VSU defense. Let's see if the offense can go ahead and answer back right here and try to regain the lead.
Again, it's 23-17, Newberry leading with 7 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Second down, 10 to go, ball on the 30. Russ Callaway with the snap. Looking for number 16. He throws a pretty pass, and it's picked off. It is picked off
by number 20, Kamal McElwain.
The pass was intended for Isaiah Jupiter, but unfortunately it was picked off by who you said, just number 20, Kamal McElwain.
I mean, like I just said, after the that's 2 interceptions now thrown by Russ Callaway. And that, after we had a couple of drives that stalled that was being ran by Kellen Lewis, I wonder if he'll actually be put back in the game now to try to take back control of this game.
That's what I was going to say. I'm not a coach, but if I had to make a prediction, I think we'll see Kellen Lewis in the next drive. That's not to step on Russ Callaway. You know, he's been dealing with an injury. I don't know if it's holding him back or not at all, but so far tonight it just hasn't been his night. So we'll see what happens the next go-around. But one fortunate thing for VSU, this is very, very tough field position for Newberry. We could be looking for a lot of rushers here, going for that safety, Trey. It's a handoff, as I somewhat expected, I would say. Didn't really pick up much yardage on the play.
And it looked like it was number 10 on the run, Akeem Sherman. But with them being pinned down so deep into the Blazer territory, it's now 2-9, and it looks like if the Blazers can actually dig in and hold them right here, we might be able to get some pretty good field position if they punt the ball away.
That's very true. As you said, 2nd and 9, ball on the 4-yard line. So if we can stop these backs, one breaks through and picks up some decent yardage, but it won't be enough for a first down. I think we'll be looking at about 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6 maybe. We'll see where they put the ball and spot it.
Yes, Akeem Sherman again on the carry, trying to make sure he can get his quarterback some room to operate instead of being in the end zone and risking the chance of taking a safety.
That's a veteran move.
It's a very veteran move. Yeah. Right now it's 3rd and 5. The ball is on the 8, and if the Blazers can stand strong one last time and have that bend but don't break defense, we can see the ball going back.
Let's look for some swarms here. They find a receiver. That was a great hit. Great hit by number 21, Rashad Etheridge. Rashad Etheridge is a senior cornerback coming up with a huge hit right there. Great stop. They have no choice but to punt right here.
Yeah, no chance.
The Blazers have to have good field position right here.
I mean, even though their punter does have a pretty good leg, I mean, he's practically backed up into his own end zone to make sure that nobody gets in and block that punt. So I can see the Blazers probably taking over possession, probably say around about the 45 or the 50.
Well, number 80, Chris Wellborn, he's a sophomore. He's the kick receiver, and hopefully he'll be getting some good field position out of this punt. But the Blazers are going to be looking at great field position. It's a low snap, high kick, pretty decent punt. It's a fair catch called at about the 48-yard line. So the Blazers are going to be starting this offensive series already in Newberry territory.
And this is a good thing for the Blazer offense. If they can continuously build on the momentum that they had in the first half, hopefully they can get some of it back. I mean, because Newberry offense is pretty much clicking on all cylinders until they got trapped down deep into the Blazer territory. Well, within their own territory, actually.
Well, that was just a great defensive series by Valdosta State. We're looking to get another offensive series started here, and Russ Calloway actually is back on the field. So evidently Coach Dean is trying to build some confidence in the young man. He receives the snap and hands it off to Ronnie Nelson. Nelson turns the corner, picks up probably about maybe a yard on the run. Didn't really get too far on that one. There was good closure on the defensive end and quarterbacks for Newberry.
Yeah, I mean, if not necessarily trying to build up Russ Calloway's confidence, it's probably more along the fact that Russ Calloway has been with this program a lot longer than Kellen Lewis, and he's probably be a little more well-rounded and able to get the team back into this.
He may have trust with the team that Kellen Lewis has not yet established. There's very close to a defensive encroachment right there by the Newberry nose guard that I saw right there, but nothing was called. Russ Calloway receives a snap. Quick pass out to number 82, who's breaking it loose up the middle. Number 82 is Cody Casey. Cody Casey's a sophomore, and he broke one loose right there. That was probably about a 30-yard run right there, Trey.
And this is another wide receiver I've been hearing a lot about. See, as you can see, he hits him, he sets him up nicely with the screen, and then he gets those two big blocks right there. Then he has nothing but free room in front of him to run, and as you can see, he makes one guy miss right there, and he keeps running until he's brought down by number 15 on the defense, who is Lyndon Ingram. Lyndon Ingram. Well,
the ball is now on the 23-yard line. It's been handed off to number 25, he was dipping and diving, but he couldn't quite get very far. He may have gotten a yard on the play. Number 25 was Michael Brown.
But the good thing is he actually kept his legs moving, and he didn't lose any yardage or get stuck right there at the play. As you can see, he sees the defenders coming at him. He does a couple moves to try to get himself free, and he still goes straight ahead to try to get a couple yards instead of just dying on the play.
He picked up 6 yards on that carry. Russ Calloway again, preparing for the snap. Receives a snap from Edward Gregory. And again, it's Michael Brown with the carry, and he may have gained another couple yards there by going up the middle.
Brown rushes for a short gain on the play.
You know,
line, I'm going to guess that size is starting to play a factor into this game, because the big guys, they're starting to get a little tired out there, and the offensive line might be a little bit better condition.
Very true. Well, here's Calloway giving some signals to his offensive players with 2 backs in the backfield, 3 wide receivers. Receives the snap, looking for a pass. It was intended for Cedric Jones, and it was thrown low and behind him. Couldn't quite pick that one up. So it is now 4th and 2. What do you expect here, Trey? Field goal or going for it?
Well, I see the field goal unit headed out onto the field, so I'm going to go ahead and give my prediction as a field goal.
Man, that was a tough one, Trey.
That was hey,
you don't have to be a genius, just observant, and that was observant there. And as you said, Daniel Anderson, number 89, is on the field. Russ Calloway doesn't even have to leave the field, for he is the holder. You know, a field goal here is absolutely better than nothing. So with this, the kick is off, and we are 3 points.
It's no good. The kick is no good. It looked like it's good to me, but the refs had a better view at it than I did. So
from this angle, I thought it was 20-23, but unfortunately, it's still 23-17. Newberry leading with 2 minutes and 46 seconds left in the third quarter.
Well, Josh, now all I can say is the VSU defense better do something to try to get the VSU offense the ball back so they can hopefully go ahead and try to take the lead.
The deadline to register for Parents Weekend is September 4th. There will be events and fun activities including shows and tours, an outdoor movie, meals, and a Blazer football game versus Southern Arkansas. For more details, check the news link on valdosta.edu. Parents Weekend is September the 11th here at VSU.
And both teams are taking the field again, and the offense looks like they're set to go ahead and try to march on down the field for another score.
That's an interesting setup they have there, Trey. Did you recognize the offense that they were running? That's a good hit made on the running back there by number 50.
Well, what I did see, they just spreaded the wide receivers out to try to make some room up the middle for the running back to get plenty of space to go ahead and get up the middle of the field, and he did just that. I mean, he did not disappoint.
Kier Moore, number 50, was the one
As
to
you
tackle.
can see right here, he had the defender who could have gone ahead and brought him down easily, but he was able to break the tackle and get a couple more yards.
It looked like somewhat of an overload play to the left side. I don't know.
Yeah, as you can see, they have 3 wide receivers lined up to the right of the quarterback.
And it's another handoff with a fake throw in the midst of it. It's S.J. Whirl with the carry. As we mentioned before, he is no easy guy to bring down. Not many arm tackles are going to bring him down. 5'11", 225. He's a hefty back.
Yes, he is, and that's what you like to see from your running back. Somebody that's able to go ahead and convert for your quarterback to make sure they have more chances to go ahead and put points on the board.
Well, with that carry, the ball is now on the Newberry 42-yard line. It's 1st and 10, and we will see where they go from here. The clock is winding down because of the running game. There are just over 2 minutes left in the quarter. It's at 2 minutes and 7 seconds. It's a fake to it's a handoff to S.J. Whirl. They faked it to Kelton Tyndall, which honestly, he's been such a threat tonight. I can only imagine people fell for it.
Yeah, you got to pay him some attention because, I mean, as fast as he is, I mean, he might be a big guy, but he's also very quick. So if he motions across the middle coming towards the ball, you got to pay him some attention.
Yep, you cannot ignore that guy. He has hurt us too much tonight to forget about him. But S.J. Whirl is becoming a pretty prominent back here tonight. It looks like Newberry is using misdirection runs with overloading one side, I guess trying to throw off the VSU defense. Brandon Gantz on the move, Larry Dean in pursuit. Gantz using his legs to pick up plays. DeMario Jones forced him out of bounds right around the 48-yard line in VSU territory. So with that, Brandon Gant did cross over the 50-yard line and get into VSU territory.
And if you're a VSU coach, this is what you exactly don't want to see from your defense. They're giving up the runs, and they're falling on the misdirection run plays, and then when they're overloading to the side, they're picking up big yardage, and they're doing what they've been doing all night, except for maybe on a couple of drives where they weren't able to convert and keep the drive going.
This is another long possession for the Newberry offense. With this run game, they're really eating the clock up. They just handed the ball off to number 10, who is Alkeem Sherman. Sherman really didn't get anywhere. He may have even lost a yard on that one.
Yeah, big 92, DeMario Jones was in there on the tackle to make sure that he didn't get anywhere.
DeMario Jones has really proven to be a cornerstone of this defense, especially on the line. We're under a minute now here in the third quarter. Score again is 23-17, Newberry leading VSU. It's 2nd down with 14 yards to go. There's a loss of yardage on that last play. The ball is on the 49-yard line. They are back in their own territory. Newberry, that is, on the 49-yard line. Looking to pass. Oh, there's a flag on the play. I'm thinking it's going to be pass interference.
I'm going to guess so, and it looked like it might be against number 21, Rashard Etheridge, because it looked like he hit the wide receiver just a little bit before the ball actually got there.
Yeah, it was a bang-bang play. I thought it was going to turn out to be a good defensive play, but turns out to go against VSU on this particular occasion.
Well, I mean, that's what happened when the corners have been getting beat pretty much all night as far as on the passes. I mean, they're trying to cheat up, jump the routes a little early, taking a few risks, and I mean, that's usually what comes with it. As you can see right here on the replay, he rolls out, he finds his man wide open, and he's all on the guy's back. I mean, he didn't give him a chance to even attempt to go at the ball, really. Before he could really get his hands up to try to make the catch, he was all over.
The pass was intended for number 81, David Brown, who's been fairly active on the night. All right, so they're back in VSU territory on the 43-yard line. Gant receives the snap. There are more flags on the play. Pass is broken up, just as safety precautions.
And that's going to be encroachment on the Blazer defense right there, Josh.
That's not a good sign. And that's another thing, as we mentioned earlier, I think it was around the first quarter when VSU was really piling up the penalties. I think it was the first drive of the game. this Newberry offense is too good to be giving them yardage just on random plays with these I guess, mental screw-ups, to be honest.
So far, I mean, they've only given up 37 yards on as far as penalties go. But, I mean, when you look at the Newberry side of the ball, they've had 10 penalties for 95 yards, but they're still here in the lead. So, I mean, what is that really saying about this VSU defense and this Newberry offense?
That's a good point, Trey.
And once again, as you can see, the Blazer Nation is right here behind their Blazer defense, trying to make sure that they get the team pumped up and also make a lot of noise so that the offense can hopefully be thrown off a little bit.
Brandon Gant receives the snap and hands it off to S.J. Whirl, who's putting on some spins. He's whirling around, just like his last name suggests. The clock with that running play is winding down. We're at just over 20 seconds now left in the third quarter. These running plays are just eating up the clock here, Trey.
But the thing is, I mean, he's had 13 attempts on as far as carries go, but he's only has 54 yards, which means the Blazer defense is still pretty much shutting down the run. But the thing is, it's coming at very crucial times in the game.
We are about to see the end of the third quarter here. We are. There will be no more plays left in the third quarter. At the end of the third quarter, Newberry is leading 23-17.
Valdosta, more than you know. A place where kids dream and kind hearts prevail. In a setting full of recreation and excitement for all ages. A city of vibrant growth, career opportunities, and a thriving business environment. Combined with progressive thinking, it's about exploring your future. Valdosta, Georgia, more than you know.
Newberry will have possession of the ball. So far, the Blazers have been somewhat unsuccessful with stopping their drives. They're really starting to find a rhythm, the Newberry offense, that is. Brandon Gant with the handoff is to Kelton Tyndall, who picks up decent yardage. He is just a tough guy to take down, Trey. Yeah, but there is a flag on the field.
Yeah, but it looked like the offense might have actually had a hole right there on that play as well. But if you did notice that even though he did get the handoff, the defensive backs for the VSU Blazers were actually there sitting in the holes waiting for him to come their way so they can go ahead and make the stop, as you can see right here. He bounces it to the outside, but as you can see, he has nowhere to go. All the VSU Blazers are right around. As you can say, that swarm defense was already on top of him before he can make it a big play.
That's an offensive play that I think has been recycled a few times tonight, and so maybe the VSU defense is somewhat expecting it.
Yeah, it could be. But at least the Blazer defense is hopefully starting to try to settle in, make sure they fill the voids, sit inside the holes, and make sure that they don't get any more big plays so they can try to come away with a win here tonight. And another key thing I can say that we can possibly honestly look at is the whole fact that VSU went into Newberry last year and came away with a win, so I guess they're trying to repay the favor here this year.
Well, let's hope that it doesn't go that far, but they just received a snap. Brandon Gant, that is, hits his receiver number 2, David Smith, who has a decent run but is taken out of bounds by number 21, Rashad Etheridge. There was just a flag on the play. It was a penalty against Newberry, so it moved them back 5 yards. So on that play, it was second down with 12 yards to go. With the gain, they are now at third down with 7 yards to go with the ball on the 40-yard line in VSU territory.
And just like I was going to tell you earlier when we were doing the pregame show about the matchups we had to watch, I was also going to tell you we also need to look at how well both quarterbacks play for both teams. Last year, Gant didn't do too great. He did pretty good. He had a solid game, but he didn't pass for any touchdowns or any interceptions. But this time, he has 3 touchdowns, which is pretty good.
That's definitely pretty good. He's looking for another one here, going deep, looking for Kelton Tyndall. Surprise, surprise, Kelton Tyndall came up with another huge catch. Looks like they're going to spot it on the 2-yard line in VSU territory. Trey, that one baffles me a little bit. There was double coverage on him, and he still came up with the catch.
Just like you can see here, he bounces back, plenty of time in the pocket, and then he finds his man wide open down the field, and he hits him in stride almost. He just falls back on the ground, and it lands right into his lap. I mean, right in his arms. And you have 24 and 26 back there trying to cover him, but it doesn't seem like it's enough.
24 being Carlos Anderson and 26 being Matt Pierce. This size differential is really proving to be detrimental for VSU. All right, well, from the 2-yard line here, they're doing a run up the middle, and we'll see what the result is.
It looks like the Blazer defense was able to get into the backfield and disrupt the play before they were able to get into the end zone.
It does. I don't know if there was any yardage gained or lost on the play. but there was no touchdown, so that's good news.
And as you can see, the Blazer crowd is very quiet right now. A few seconds ago, they were all into this game, making sure that they were trying to let their team know they were behind them 110%. But now it seems as if that big play just took all the wind out of their sails.
I agree with that, Trey. They're not on their feet like they were towards the end of the second quarter when VSU found a hot spurt on their offense. But you know this Blazer crowd and team, there's a lot of resiliency here, and I'm sure they'll be right back in it as soon as there's anything worth cheering about.
You got it. And we have a timeout here down on the field, so I guess we'll go ahead and take a break. There's 13 minutes and 44 seconds left in the third quarter. It's 17. VSU is down. Newberry has 23, and we're back after these few messages.
Filing for Social Security online is a lot easier than relearning the Watusi.
And we are back at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium, where there are 13 minutes and 44 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Newberry leads VSU 23-17 and has the ball on the VSU 2-yard line, trying to punch it in here. It is second down, 2 yards to go. It's a handoff to S.J. Worrell, who tiptoes in.
He was able to go ahead and break the tackle and show you just how powerful of a runner he is, and was able to go ahead and get into the end zone for the touchdown, making a two-possession game again.
A hit was applied by number 33, Marcel Horn. Unfortunately, it wasn't good enough. It was around the ankles, didn't get a chance to wrap him up, and Worrell just tiptoed into the end zone. Again, like you said, it is now at least a two-possession game. If they tack this extra point on, which it looks like they're going to go for two. Earlier in the third quarter, they missed an extra point opportunity, so I think they're trying to make up for it right here. If they do, let's see what happens. The snap. Gantz rolling to his right, throws back left, has a receiver open all day. Nobody in sight, and two-point play was successful. So it's now 31-17. Newberry leads VSU by 14.
And you want to know something, Josh? That is the very first time that any team has scored a two-point conversion on VSU since October 29, 2005, when Keandrick Luscious of South Arkansas did it, and that's been like 38. That's been 38 games ago.
Wow, that's a pretty impressive stat. I got to give props where it's due, and it's due to the Newberry offense.
Making this a two-touchdown game now.
How many touchdowns? Let's see. S.J. Worrell with 1 yard run. Okay. Well, I'm trying to think here, Trey. Do you know exactly how many touchdowns have come off runs and how many off passes? Do you know that just yet?
Well, that was a 10-play drive right there for 80 yards, and it only took them 4 minutes and 6 seconds to go ahead and get the touchdown.
All right. Well, just receiving information, that was the first rushing touchdown. The other 3 touchdowns have come off the pass, showing that Newberry is actually beating VSU at their own game. VSU traditionally is a little stronger passing than running. Running's kind of not necessarily a secondary, but most of the yards do come through the air, and tonight Newberry is kind of teaching us how to do that a little bit.
Yeah, but the thing is that Gant is trying to make sure he keeps his team in this. Last year, whereas he was managing the game and he made sure he didn't turn the ball over, even though he didn't get any touchdowns, he was able to come back here this year on VSU's home turf and put up some good numbers.
Yeah, very good numbers. As a matter of fact, they have gotten 329 yards through the air, and Gant's been very, very accurate, completing 24 of 35 attempts. That's a pretty decent passer rating right there.
Exactly.
All right, we're getting ready for another kickoff from Todd Moon. Again, it's Isaiah Jupiter and Derek Harris in the backfield looking to get a strong return here and start the Blazers off right. The Blazers have 13 minutes and 39 seconds to make something happen and regain the lead to hopefully pull out a victory tonight. The kick is off. It's a high kick. It's kind of a short one, only to about the Blazer 23, 24, and it is received by number 15, I believe. It's tough to see from this angle, but I believe it was number 15, Kellen Lewis, the quarterback. Was it 15?
I didn't happen to see the player. But the good thing is, hopefully the Blazers will be able to try to swing this game back in their favor, even though they are down to this fourth quarter. They still have 13 minutes and 33 seconds to attempt to get back into the game.
And they're starting with good field position here with the ball on the 38-yard line, their own 38-yard line. That leaves them less than 70 yards to go to get to the end zone. So it's 1st and 10, ball on the 38, score 31-17 Newberry. And again, Russ Calloway at quarterback. Calloway receives a snap, rolls to his right, finds a receiver, R.J. Bastone. Bastone dodges a tackle and moves a little bit forward.
And he picked up the first down. But then the thing is, I'm pretty sure Callaway, if he had just a little bit more time, he would have noticed that he actually had number 84 wide open down the field. As you can see, he's been flushed out the pocket, got number 5 hot on his trail. So he just went ahead and dumped it off to his check down receiver, number 6, to make sure, RJ Baston, to make sure he can pick up the first down and live to keep the series going.
I'd consider that a successful play. And here comes Callaway handing the ball off to number 25. And that is Michael Brown, who picks up another couple of yards there. Not much of a gain, but again, probably about 2 yards there. It's 2 yards, so it's now 2nd and 8 with the ball on the 48-yard line in Newberry territory. So the Blazers are making progress here, Trey. They're beginning to put together a little bit of a drive here. The clock is still ticking because of the running, though.
And I'm pretty sure the Newberry team has actually came here and shocked a lot of the Blazer fans here tonight.
I would say so. The Blazers fans are still kind of quiet right now, I guess, looking for something to cheer for. Number 30 sent in motion, that being Gabe Mold. Russ Callaway fakes a handoff. Has to throw it away because he is heavily pressured by number 40, who is Matthew Kingdom from Newberry.
And once again, I cannot talk about how valuable a quarterback who makes great decisions with the ball is to his team.
Unfortunately, the pressure on that time came from the right side, so there must have been a breakdown somewhere to Russ Callaway's right, which caused him to have to throw it out of bounds. But he did make a good decision there. That's probably, the experience he has, and he prevented anything negative from happening on that play. It's 3rd and 8, ball on the 48. Let's see if the Blazers can get a first down here. He's looking to pass. All right, he finds Cedric Jones across the middle. It's a huge gain. That's Ronnie Nelson. Ronnie Nelson takes it all the way down to the 20. It's about a 28-yard reception right there. Ronnie Nelson being one of the leading receivers tonight. He's been a good target for the Blazers. That will actually be his 4th reception, and that's going to be about 29 yards of receptions.
And as you can see, Callaway had plenty of time in the pocket, and he dropped back, and he just looked over the middle of the field, and he saw Ronnie Nelson coming across and hit him in stride, and Nelson was able to pick up the good yardage. But we have a flag down here.
There is a flag on the play. We'll just have to cross our fingers that it's not against Valdosta State. The refs are sorting things out right now. Can't exactly tell what the call may be. Disregard the flag. The flag is disregarded, meaning that the Blazers still have great field position. They're nearing the Newberry red zone, and just punch one in here, Trey, and get back on defense and try and shut them down to get the ball back.
Yeah, there's plenty of time left for the VSU offense to get them back into this game.
It's a very competitive game, Trey. It's been very close. And Russ Callaway at the snap hands it off to Ronnie Nelson, who loses his footing and may have actually lost a yard on the play there. It's an unfortunate slip up by Nelson right there, but
as soon as he got the ball, he already had 2 Newberry defenders already in his face to make sure he didn't get too many yards off that carry.
Yeah, I think Nelson's drawing a lot of attention his way after the night he's having here.
And another surprising stat that I must throw out there to you, Josh, is the fact that last year VSU was averaging I want to say 160 some odd yards on the ground.
166.
But this year, this game right here we barely have over 100 rushing yards.
Well, Callaway has to scramble, and he is taken down. There's going to be a loss of yardage on that play. He's probably going to lose about 1 yard, maybe 2. But unfortunately, that's going to bring up a 3rd down, and probably, 3rd and 12, balls on the 23. So we're nearing the red zone, nearing a striking opportunity, but we have got to get something across at least 12 yards down the field to continue this drive. Callaway's calling plays. He's looking to the bench for more directions. I think he's calling an audible. Coaches are sending some signals.
They have a lot of men in the box, so he might be trying to make sure he can try to maybe do some play action here and try to get a man up wide open over the top.
Well, there's 1 back and 4 receivers, so if I'm on defense, I'd be watching pass, which is what he looks to be doing. He's rushed. Oh, there might be pass interference. No pass interference. It was not a catchable ball. It was intended for number 82. Number 82 is Cody Casey, who, again, he made a pretty big play early in the game, but he could not come up with that one. Russ Callaway was rushed and just had to kind of lob it up there. We're actually kind of lucky it found the ground and not the hands of somebody else other than Cody Casey.
And that's where you have the defense not actually looking at the football. They're trying to keep their eyes in the backfield, try to see what the quarterbacks are doing and making sure they're not trying to sneak a run out on them.
Well, we're going for it on 4th and 12. I think it's probably a pretty good decision. It's getting down to that point in the game. We need to make something happen here. Nelson in motion with the ball, looking to pass. It's picked off. It's picked off and run out of bounds. They are trying to find R.J. Bastone.
But instead, he wound up finding Mr. Ronnie Parker, number 8, on the defensive side of the ball. And it's another Blazer turnover.
Trey, what does that signify for this Blazer offense? I mean, was that play done out of desperation or hoping to catch him off guard?
It was hoping to catch him off guard, but see, the thing is that he had the ball was pretty wobbly as it came out, and it was way on the throw. The wide receiver had no chance at actually catching that pass. So I want to say they're kind of desperate, and they want to try to make sure to catch the defense off guard and not trying to get too repetitive. But I say at this point of the game, it's no need for it.
Well, unfortunately, the Blazer side of the bleachers are emptying out just a little bit, but that doesn't mean I've seen bigger comebacks than this. Hopefully we'll have another one tonight. Newberry again with the run and play. Very, very little yardage on the play. They may have actually lost a few yards there, Trey.
Well, at least the Blazer defense look like they're still trying to hold up, whereas on the other side of the ball, the offense is struggling right now, and hopefully they'll be able to get their head back in the game. And with 10 minutes left, I mean, there's still plenty of time if we can make some big plays on defense and probably take one back to the house or get some pretty good plays on special teams.
So the Blazers are not out of this competition just yet. We're going to need some big plays on behalf of really anyone on our team. It's a handoff to, looks like probably Whirl. No, excuse me, it's number 10, who is Alkeem Sharon. Sharon really doesn't pick up much yardage.
The ball carrier is brought down near the line of scrimmage by number 11.
The attendance tonight at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium was 9,217, so it was a great crowd to begin the season here tonight. As we mentioned earlier, Newberry traveled well. They brought a decent amount of the crowd tonight, a decent portion. And the Blazer side of the stadium, a little thinner now, but it was packed full earlier. Blazer Nation was on top of things and ready to get it started.
And I can see a whole lot of people still leaving the crowd, the stands right now. I'm guessing they're kind of a little disgusted with the way the team's been playing tonight.
Well, it's not too late to turn things around. Brandon Gant looking to throw. It's picked off. It is picked off by number 21, Rashard Etheridge. The senior cornerback, Rashard Etheridge, 5'6", 160 pounds. He's out of Western Kentucky. Blazers are going to have amazing field possession now. They're already inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, as you can see right here, Gant had the ball. He went ahead and rolled out. He thought he had his wide receiver wide open, but the thing is, he actually tipped the ball. Number 85, Kellen Tyndall. That's his third drop of the night. Number 21 made the heads-up play, got the interception, Blazer ball, great field position, and let's see what they can do with it.
That was a very rare mistake on behalf of Kelton Tyndall, the All-American, second-team All-American. But fortunately, VSU receiver or cornerback was able to pick it up, and now we're inside the red zone. Let's see what Callaway can do from here. Definitely looking for pass. It's a little overthrown. He was looking for R.J. Bastone again, the senior. There's a flag on the play.
And it looked like they was able to draw the Newberry defense off sides there, Josh.
I hope that's what happened.
If so, that's going to go ahead and give us a 1 and 5, and that's pretty manageable.
That is pretty manageable. That would also put us on the 12-yard line. Blazers currently, as of right this second, it's 1st and 10, ball on the 17. It was encroachment on behalf of the defense. There's now 9 minutes and 14 seconds left on the clock. Again, Newberry leads 31-17, but the Blazers really lucked up with that call right there, got some help on behalf of the Newberry defense, and the ball is now on the 12-yard line, 1st and 10. 2nd and 5, excuse me. Russ Callaway checking back to the bench to see if there's going to be a change in play call.
And let's hope that the Blazer offense can go ahead and punch it in here and try to make this a one-possession game.
Looking for Jackson Dean. Another interception. It was picked off by number 8.
Ron Parker, once again. That's his second interception. That's back-to-back interceptions by Ron Parker. And that is the third by Russ Callaway.
Russ Callaway is not having the night of his career, that's for sure. A lot of things may have gone wrong there. There's a little pressure on the quarterback. He had to move, off-balance throw, but that definitely just let some wind out of the sails of VSU. They really didn't have that wasn't helpful at this point in time. There's now 9 minutes and 7 seconds left on the clock. Again, 31-17, Newberry.
And I guess kind of at this point right here, you're kind of wondering how much longer is Coach David Dean going to actually stick with Russ Callaway compared to putting back in Kellen Lewis, or is it pretty much a little too late?
Callaway has made some good decisions tonight, and unfortunately, the mistakes he has made, they've been capitalized on by Newberry. So You know, I mean, 3 mistakes turned into 3 big mistakes simply because Newberry stepped up and made a play. Now they're handing the ball off to number 10, running the ball right there. Really doesn't get any yardage on the play from what I could tell. Number 10 is Alkeem Sherman. He's a running back, 5'10", 200 pounds. He's a junior out of Conway, South Carolina. Seen him a few times tonight. It was a short loss. It's going to be 2nd and 12 now with the ball on the 18. So the Blazer defense, although probably somewhat demoralized with the fact that they've been on the field so much tonight, they have held strong. What does that, you think, say about the conditioning of this team, Trey?
Well, the team is in very good shape, but the only bad thing is they're not getting much help from the offense tonight.
They really aren't right now. The pass is completed to Kelton Tyndall. Kendall really doesn't get much yardage on the play. He may gain 3 or 4 right there, but we'll see where they mark it.
But as soon as he received the ball, number 32, Larry Dean, and number 11, DeMarcus Flanagan, as you can see, were right there on the tackle. There he is, Tyndall right there with the reception. Then, as you can see, two Blazers right on him as soon as he gets the ball to make sure he gets out of bounds and doesn't pick up too many yards.
Well, Tyndall did pick up about 4 yards on the carry. It's now 3rd and 8 with the ball on the 22. So they're going to be forced to make a big play here. Trey, what are you looking for, pass or run?
I think they're going to do a little play action right here since they overloaded the other side.
Well, no play action, but they're looking to their number 81.
Out of bounds.
Great catch, but he was out of bounds when he made it, so that was a great break for the VSU defense. Trey, there's 8 minutes, 14 seconds on the clock, down by 2 touchdowns. What you think? Is it still possible?
It's still possible if the Blazers don't give up just yet. I mean, like I said, if that interception had a win for a touchdown, it'll be a 1-possession game. If that incompletion puts them back on 4th and 8, we get the ball back, and we could have marched back down the field and got another touchdown. It's a tie game, and we still have, say, around 5 to 6 minutes left in the game to go.
Well, number 80, Chris Wellborn, is back to receive the punt. Hopefully he'll be able to receive it. He's standing about the VSU 40-yard line, so hopefully if he gets it in that area, he'll be able to move us up close to midfield or across it. He's actually having to back up. It was a good punt. He called for a fair catch, and VSU is going to be starting their possession at about the 36-yard line. On August 31st, the VSU softball team will partner with Zeta Phi Beta sorority to host a campus-wide blood drive. Stop by the PE Complex mezzanine from noon until 8 p.m. in the evening to donate blood. For more information, visit the American Red Cross at givelife.org. Well, the Blazer offense is getting ready to come back on the field. Kellen Lewis, I don't see him. Russ Calloway is back in.
They're sticking with Calloway. I guess they say they're gonna go down with the captain of the ship tonight, Josh.
And that is an interesting point you made there. Although Kellen Lewis was the starting quarterback, Russ Calloway is one of the team captains. I think a lot of that stems back to the experience he has and the trust that he has with the team. So, hey, it's possible. Maybe he can bring it back right here. With 8 minutes and 7 seconds left, VSU needs at least 2 touchdowns. Calloway finds a receiver, number 82. That's a pretty decent completion right there. It was Cody K, with the reception.
Callaway's pass is complete to number 82, Cody Case.
And it looked like he picked up, I'll say, around 4 or 5 yards on that play. And he's pretty much set him up in a pretty good manageable 2-6 right here situation with 7 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in the game, Josh.
Callaway with the snap. He hands it off to number 10, David Arnold. Hey, he picks up pretty decent yardage right there. Arnold takes it up to about the 47-yard line. It's going to be close to a first down. It may actually be.
He broke a couple tackles to go ahead and get that go-ahead for the first down right there, Josh. And he's doing what the coaches want him to do, move those chains.
Hey, and that's exactly what he did. Another Blazer first down.
As you can see right there, he was able to get up into the middle and get the yardage that he needed to go ahead and convert that 2nd and 6.
David Arnold has now tallied up, let's see.
He's carried the ball 6 times for 29 yards.
That's not a bad average whatsoever. It's over 4 yards a carry, closer to 5 actually.
And that was a pretty nice screen set up by the Blazer offense. It was given to number 19, Gerald Ford, who was able to make a little bit out of nothing. But, well, better yet, it was a whole lot of something out of nothing. It's put him in a 2-3, which is very manageable for this VSU offense.
That is very manageable. The ball's on the 46. Callaway receives the snap and hands it back to guess who? David Arnold. Arnold wrapped up immediately, almost broke a tackle. I thought he had a chance to move the chains, just didn't that time. But again, he actually lost yardage on the play. It's 3rd and 6.
And as you can see, Arnold refuses to go down without a fight. He's going to make sure that he keeps those legs pumping and get as many yards as he possibly can.
VSU lines up with 4 receivers, one in the backfield. That was Ronnie Nelson looking to throw. It is tipped. Fortunately, it finds the ground and not the hands of a Newberry defender. Callaway is struggling a little bit with his passing tonight, but I mean, again, Trey, as you said earlier, if it hits the receiver's hands, theoretically it should be brought in, and that one wasn't.
Well, that time that pass was a little too high, and it looked as if it was out of the wide receiver's range. We have to remember that the VSU wide receivers are on average 6 foot, 6'1", maybe 5'10", somewhere in that range. So we don't have the same height that the Newberry wide receivers have. So we got to he has to calm himself down a little bit, bring the ball down to where his wide receivers can catch the ball and try to turn it upfield and get some positive yardage out of it.
I agree with what you just said, and looks as though the ball is on the 46-yard line of the Newberry side of things, 44-yard line. Again, it's 3rd and 6. Callaway's looking to make something happen. Excuse me, it's 3rd and 1. There was a 5-yard penalty. Callaway had plenty of time, finds Ronnie Nelson for the first down. Nelson breaks a tackle. He's in the middle of the field. Nelson takes to about the Newberry 25, 24-yard line. Nelson's been a standout player tonight on the offensive side, Trey.
He's just been doing his part to try to make sure he puts his team in position to win this game, and it looks like the Blazers are going to go ahead and use the hurry-up offense to try to put some points on the board very quickly.
Hey, well, that's about the only thing we can hope for right now is a few more points on the VSU side of things. Cedric Jones heads off the field. Isaiah Jupiter replaces him on the left side. There's a 4-receiver set right here. Callaway had all day. Passes at number 82, who makes the catch and is brought down at about the 18-yard line.
That'll be Cody Case on the reception right there, Josh.
Cody Case, hey, his name's been coming up a lot more often here towards the end of the game.
And I expect to see great things from Cody Case. I mean,
he's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore, and I mean, he can actually make a name for himself if he does pretty good for the rest of this game.
Hey, he's been clutch thus far, so let's hope that it'll keep up. Derek Harris in the backfield blocking very well. Callaway, throws it just a little high. It was a beautiful pass. A little high, honestly, just, again, if the receiver was 6'4", you know, not to compare anyone to anyone else, I'm just saying somebody 6'4", like, you know, Kelton Tyndall, 6'3", 6'4", maybe could have been brought in. But, hey, again, it was a pretty throw, good attempt. And it's 3rd and 4 now with the ball on the 18. Let's see if they can make something happen.
But the good thing I can say about that incompletion, Josh, it actually stopped the clock. It's only 5 minutes and 33 seconds left in this game.
That's a good point, Trey. Time is becoming of the essence. Callaway on the move. He's showing off some mobility. That knee seems to be treating him just fine. Tried a little left-handed Eli Manning shuffle pass up to Derek Harris. Unfortunately, Harris couldn't bring it in. It went out of bounds.
It looked more like an underhand toss right there.
Yeah. I was just referring back to when Eli Manning did that in the playoffs a couple of years ago, but that was more of an underhand toss to Derek Harris. Again, it was just a little out of bounds. I think Russ Callaway's momentum carried the ball out of bounds with him.
And as you can see, it's pretty much clutch time here for the VSU Blazers. If we don't get a touchdown here, you can pretty much go ahead and say it's good night, because as soon as the Newberry offense gets their hand back on the ball, they're going to do what they've been continuously doing all night, which is milking the clock.
Yep, they're going to milk the clock by running the ball. And as we've seen, stopping the run defense is tough. There are 5 minutes and 24 seconds left on the clock, 31-17. We're going to take a quick break here. Come back and join us here for the rest of the fourth quarter in just a second.
Cuando ingresé en la Guardia Nacional nunca pensé que salvaría vidas. Me pongo el uniforme y tengo una perspectiva totalmente distinta. Patria, comunidad, familia es lo más importante para mí. Si lo es también para ti, visita 1-800-GO-GUARD.com.
Welcome back, fans. We're here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium where there are 5 minutes and 24 seconds left in the fourth quarter. VSU is going on 4th and 4. It's a 4th down, 4 yards to go. Pass to Ronnie Nelson, not quite reeled in. Oh, it was a really close one. That's a heartbreaker.
And I bet you Russ Callaway is kicking himself right now, wishing he had that pass back. He had Ronnie Nelson out in the flats, wide open, and he threw it behind him. All because of the defensive pressure up the middle.
Yeah, he was pressured. Newberry's already kind of beginning their celebration. I think they kind of have the vibe that this one's over. We don't know that for sure yet. VSU side of the stadium's really getting thin right now. I think a lot of the Blazer fans are a little bit demoralized by the performance they've seen, especially in the second half here tonight, Trey. The Blazers went into the halftime really with the momentum on their side, and here in the second half, they've just kind of fallen apart in a lot of areas. Of course, like we said, S.J. Worrell with the handoff. He's running. Tough to bring down, 225 pounds. He's a tough back, but here here this is the milking process.
This is it. This is where they get the ball in their hands and they just go ahead and milk it for all it's worth. That's S.J. Worrell's 16 carry tonight. Look at him right here. He's just picking his way through the defense, finding all the open greenery out there. Just open real estate. And he's just doing what he has to do to keep the clock moving, stand in bounds, so they can go ahead, run the clock down, and go home with the victory.
Well, it's second down, 5 yards to go with the ball on the Newberry 23. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. All right, there's a play on the field, gained a few yards for Newberry there. Cornerback, it looks like Matt Pierce brought him down right there at the end of the play. Carlos Anderson was near the play, and number 21 was also in on it. So again, swarm defense has definitely been in effect tonight. It's just been against a tough receiving core. That was a first down for Newberry. The ball is on the 34-yard line. VSU's looking to make something happen here. The clock is still running. There's 4 minutes and 17 seconds left in the game. All right, here comes Brandon Gant. You know, Trey, does it surprise you Brandon Gant, starting quarterback, still in the game?
It is, kind of. This game is pretty much already in hand, but they still have him out there.
Wow, some great blocks on behalf of the offensive line and receivers. That opens up the field a little bit for number 10, who is Alkeem Sherman. Sherman picks up, I believe, another first down for the Newberry.
And they're doing what they've been trying to do all night, just milk the clock. They've had the ball pretty much all night long. They've had the ball for 29 minutes now, going on 30, while the Blazers have only had the ball for close to 25 minutes. They've closed the gap by a big margin since the beginning of the game, but it's still not enough for them to come away with the victory. And it looks as if that Newberry is trying to make an impact here and keeping their starters in the game to kind of run the score up a little bit maybe.
It's not going to hurt their standings, that's for sure, but again, number 10, Alkeem Sherman brought down. There's a flag on the play. Can only hope it's not against VSU.
That looked like it might have been a personal foul on number 92, Demario Jones. Like the frustration might be starting to set in right now, and he just doesn't know how to take it. Yeah, he's coming out of the game right now, and he's being replaced by number 66, who is
66 is Jamarian Brown. You know, Trey, I just noticed this also. The Newberry, they haven't given up. Obviously, they still have their starting quarterback in. But if you look at the defensive lineup for the Blazers, Coach Dean hasn't thrown in the hat or the towel just yet either. I see Larry Dean still out there, Carlos Anderson, Demario Jones. Several of the starters are still on the field trying to make something happen.
Well, David Dean is just one of those regular coaches who believes that it's not over until the clock hits 0. Anything is possible. They could get a little too greedy right here, try to go for it all, and anything can happen. It could be taken back.
Well, Newberry is certainly not in any hurry to get this play on the go. It's milking the clock again, using the play clock for all it's worth. There are 3 minutes and 15 seconds left on the game clock. VSU is just patiently waiting for them to bring the next offensive attack. Hey, it was a good play by number 44 on the VSU defense. That is Ratu Rebello. We've said his name a few times tonight.
Yeah, he's been in on a lot of plays, Josh. He's been trying to make sure that he gets in and he does his part. As you can see right here, they give it to S.J. Worrell. He tries to make something out of nothing, but he's met in the backfield by Ratu Rebella, and it just shuts it down.
It was actually Sherman, But yeah, it was Sherman who actually received the ball on the carry. But like you said, Rebello jumped on him really quickly and brought him down the backfield. Rebello is certainly, like you said, taking advantage of his playing time and making a case as to why he should be in the game. Doing a good job tonight. The handoff is to number 31. That is S.J. Worrell. The big back does not come down without a fight, and he takes it out to about the Blazer 39.
And with 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to go in the game, Newberry is up 31-17, and they have the ball right now, and I'm pretty sure they're going to go ahead and continue to do what they've been doing this whole time and keep milking the clock, Josh.
That's what it looks to be here, Trey. That's just basic football right there. You get the lead, and then you milk the clock and just hope that things continue to go your way. And fortunately, I guess for Newberry, things are going their way. There's been a timeout on the field. Valdosta State took it. They took the timeout with 2 minutes and 18 seconds left in the game.
Filing for Social Security online. 9 out of 10 experts agree it's groovier than a Brooklyn hot dog. Or crepes Suzette.
When cousins are to overcome.
We mentioned earlier Apollo Stretch, number 45, one of the inside linebackers. Brandon Gant receives the snap. Carlos Anderson drops a potential interception with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left on the clock. Anderson almost had that one and had a little room to work with there also. But as I was going to say, Apollo Stretch, one of the starting linebackers for Newberry tonight, he mentioned in an interview earlier that Newberry was very prepared for VSU simply because they were more physical, they were faster, and they work harder. Now, most of us VSU fans certainly took offense to that, seeing as we're a hard-working football team. But I tell you what, that number 13, Brandon Gant, it is evident he has put in his hard work and grown as a quarterback.
And so has the Newberry defense. They've actually settled into their new positions because I know they've done a lot of shuffling in the offseason, but a lot of those players have gotten their new positions, have settled in, and made a lot of big plays.
Here's a punt by Newberry. It's kicked back again. Fair catch caught at about the 12-yard line. The catch was made by Chris Wellborn. He's been the punt returner for most of the evening. So VSU has 2 minutes and 11 seconds left in the game. They're starting on their own, about the 14-yard line, and they're going to try and make something happen here. At least gain some more respect from Newberry by driving down the field and put one in the end zone.
And yeah, this is where you're going to see VSU's hurry-up offense at its best, and let's see how well they'll be able to execute it. Even though they already know it's pretty much a losing effort for the most part, at least it still gives them a chance to try to get a little bit more familiar with the new weapons they have on offense and see how well they can actually execute a real 2-minute drill.
They're doing a 4-receiver set. Ronnie Nelson in the backfield, Russ Calloway directing traffic on the team. Cedric Jones is to the left of Russ Calloway. I bet he's going to be a target right here. He is. Makes the catch, makes a good move to get by the defender. Cedric Jones, it's one of the flashiest plays we've seen by him tonight.
And the good thing is they got the first down, which will stop the time until they reset the ball, and they're going ahead and getting into the hurry-up offense, and they're setting up pretty quickly here, Josh.
You're right. As the announcer just announced, just the first down for the Blazers. Hurry-up offense in order, ball on the 28-yard line. Russ Calloway steps back, pressured, finds Ronnie Nelson, who is drilled on the play by number 8 from Newberry. Ron Parker. He simply just put his helmet in Ronnie Nelson's numbers right there, and Nelson stood no chance.
And as you can see, Calloway didn't have much time in the pocket. He was kind of rushed, and he went ahead and found a check down receiver, and then before you knew it, Parker was driving his helmet straight through Nelson's chest.
That was a risky play there. It was actually a little helmet-to-helmet contact, but nothing dirty, just an aggressive play right there.
No, it looked like it was actually a personal foul on that play.
Actually, I think it was a dirty play. I saw the helmet-to-helmet. I didn't see a flag on the field, but as I said, that kind of play is, while it's aggressive, it is frowned upon due to severe injuries that can occur when helmet-to-helmet contact takes place. So that really, really helps out the VSU Blazers. Unfortunately, there's only 1:38 seconds left on the clock. So at this point, anything else they get pretty much just be to pad the stats of the players on the field. The game is close to out of hand, but
it can also help build the players' confidence. I mean, even though they did lose this game, if they can execute a perfect 2-minute drill, go down and get a quick score, I mean, that's something they can build on going into next week's game.
There's always positives amongst the negatives. There's actually been time put back on the clock. There's 1:46 seconds left. So a little more time for VSU to try and make something happen. Again, Ronnie Nelson in the backfield, 4-receiver set, 5 down linemen. Looks like there's going to be some pressure coming from Newberry. Oh, Nelson hit after the play.
I'm going to tell you what I did see while I was looking at this play right here, Josh. If you notice, Russ Calloway had a perfect pocket to step up into so he can actually take the time that he needed to make an accurate pass, but instead he stayed in the backfield, didn't step up into the pocket, and threw an inaccurate pass.
Yeah. Do you have any idea of what that might stem from? Is it nervousness, or is it what do you think that might be from?
Maybe it just Russ Calloway trying to rush his throws and trying to get his team in position to score.
Yep. Certainly the VSU offense hasn't quite been in sync tonight. Tell you what, some of these receivers are starting to take some pretty big hits, it looks like. I don't know if it's Newberry just being comfortable sitting back and being able to lay some licks into us now that they're not so worried about a big play, but these receivers are taking some licks right now. Nobody's injured, everything's fine, but they're definitely, I'm hearing some pops up here.
It's just where the Newberry defense is just doing everything right. They're hustling. They see as soon as the receiver gets the ball, you see a whole lot of Newberry defenders surrounding the wide receiver, making the tackle, making sure that they stay within the playing field, making sure that clock is continuously ticking, and they can go ahead and come away with the victory here at Bazemore-Hyder Stadium, something that doesn't happen that often.
It really doesn't, especially as we mentioned in the first quarter, that first opening drive. Not many teams come into Bazemore-Hyder Stadium and first drive of the game score on the Blazers. It happened today. It's really continued to happen all night. The Blazers haven't really had answers for the big receivers that Newberry is known for. We highlighted that earlier in the game, and it's definitely been something to watch.
And then I'm going to tell you something else, Josh. The last time a player has actually came in and caught 10 passes against VSU, which is what David Presley did tonight, was on October the 2nd, 2008, when Chad Schroeder of Delta State came in and did it.
Well, that just is kind of a testament tonight of how effective they've been in their passing game. All right, Russ Calloway directing things with 1:32 left on the clock. They're on the 46-yard line. Let's see if we can make something happen. Steps back. Stepped up in the pocket pretty well that time. Found Derek Harris on the right side of the field. Harris scrambles around a little bit. Does not get out of bounds. So the clock, unless it's a first down, which it looks like it is, the clock is stopped. So there's 1:23 on the field on the clock. That was a good play by Calloway and Derek Harris. Calloway did a much better job of being comfortable and stepping into the pocket and delivering an accurate throw on that play, Trey.
Which is what he needs to do if this team is going to be successful.
He steps back, again, steps forward very strongly into the pocket. Finds senior R.J. Bastone, who is hit pretty hard, drops the pass, and we're going to do it all over again.
And he was hit by number 20, and he's been making plays all night, and that is Mr. Kamal McElwain.
Yep, we've said his name before.
On the defensive side of the ball, making sure that these Blazers don't get inside that end zone.
Well, it was a good pass. It was a good catch. The receiver caught it out in front of him with his hands, but it just didn't stick.
And here we have the Blazers getting ready for the snap here. Calloway getting set, and there's the snap. He's had a little pressure in the pocket, and then they get it to number 8, Cedric Jones, who has a little daylight, and he runs it out of bounds after getting the first down.
That was a very mindful play by Cedric Jones. First of all, great catch, great move to get past the defender, but very mindful and a very senior move to run straight for the sideline once he realized his yardage was done. He approached the defender and saw that he needed to get out of bounds, save the clock time, and that's what he did. Well, tonight, here we go. Russ Calloway's getting ready for the pass. Oh, no.
Almost another interception by number 3 on the defense. He made the heads-up play. He read Calloway's eyes all the way, and he came in and he jumped the pass. Antonio Patton once again breaking up a pass.
The last time, looking in the record books, the last time an opposing quarterback has thrown for 3 touchdowns against VSU was 57 games ago, back on October 2nd, 2004, when Scott Eister of Delta State did it. So it's been a long time since any quarterback has stepped on this field and really just put on this kind of performance. Again, another big hit. Number 19 reels in the pass, though. That was Gerald Ford. He's a freshman. That's very promising. Actually, Gerald Ford's one of our bigger receivers, Trey. 6'2", 217 pounds. So we have some upside here on the VSU receiving core.
Yeah, we only have 40 seconds left, so let's see how well the offense can actually operate here.
Another good pass caught by number 1.
Cedric Evans, who breaks a couple tackles and goes in for the touchdown.
Hey, there's some optimism for you. Again, like we said, padding some stats at this point, but that's very promising to see that a young man such as that catch the pass, break some tackles, and really make some moves to help this offense.
And as you can see right here, Russ Calloway in the pocket. He's looking pretty comfortable, and he hits number 1, Cedric Evans, who he hits a nice little spin move right there. Makes 3 defenders miss. After almost falling. No, 4 with a nice little help right there from one of his blockers, and walks right on into the end zone.
Trey, that is pure determination right there from the senior Cedric Evans.
Yes, it is. From Miami, Florida.
Well, that was an impressive play right there. Unfortunately, there's a VSU player down. Can't tell exactly who it is just this minute. No, excuse me, it's a Newberry player. It's a Newberry player. I believe it's number 8, and that is Ron Parker. Parker has been all over the field tonight. He's made some big plays for Newberry. He's a senior, 6'1", 210-pound defensive back. He jogs off the field under his own power, so he seems to be just fine. But the Blazers are getting ready to come back here, and looks like they're trying to tack on too.
But it might be just a little too late, Josh. It's only 31.7 seconds left to go in the game, and Newberry has 31, and if the Blazers can go ahead and Look like they're going to go for the extra point to make it 24-31.
They are. I saw Russ Calloway, and I thought that they were going to try and throw it, but he is the placeholder. Daniel Anderson puts another one through the uprights, and that puts the score at 24-31. Newberry leading VSU. There are 31.7 seconds left in the game. All right, we're going to be looking here now for maybe a potential onside kick. We are only down by 7. One onside kick and
another spectacular play like we just seen from Cedric Evans.
Yeah, well, a heck of an offensive play could literally tie this game up. But I'd almost pity anybody who left this game early if something like that happens. But we'll see. We'll see what's in the works here. All right, Trey, break down an onside kick. What needs to happen right here?
Well, if we're going to go ahead and do an onside kick, what we need to do is try to make sure it goes those 10 yards so that we can actually get possession of the ball. If we can have one of their defenders, one of their receivers, bobble the catch or just obviously not paying any attention.
Yeah.
Or so if not, that can force a fumble. So hopefully we got a couple of heavy hitters out there on the special teams to go ahead and try to jar the ball loose if one of the receivers actually picks it up.
So we'll be looking for a swarm defense type of play.
Exactly.
They're not really lined up in an onside kick. Well, I guess they are.
Yes, they are.
They are lined up in an onside kick format. Which side of the field do you think it's going to, Trey?
Looks like he might get kick it over to the right.
That's what I'm thinking too. Well, no secrets about it. It's certainly an onside kick. Here we go. Daniel Anderson. Ball travels 10 yards. It is received by Newberry.
Number 14.
That is David Presley.
Once again, making the heads-up play for Newberry.
He is a junior. He has some experience, and right there, he put a quick end to that potential big play for VSU. So here we are, Trey, with 30.2 seconds left in the game. Again, Newberry up 31-24.
And all we have to do is take a couple kneel downs, and it'll be the game, Josh.
Yeah, don't even expect to see any more runs. So I guess at this point, we can go ahead and begin kind of recapping what we saw tonight, offensively and defensively.
Yes, well, I mean, Newberry came out in the first half. They were looking pretty strong, and I mean, with 12 minutes and 59 seconds left to go in the game, Tyndall was caught a 29-yard pass from Gant, and after 7 plays and 62 yards in 2 minutes, Newberry was up 7-0.
Well, a big story on the field right now for Newberry. This is their head coach, Tom Knight's first season as head coach. Originally, he was defensive coordinator. So this is officially his first victory as head coach tonight. So congratulations to Mr. Knight, to Coach Knight. Congratulations to the Newberry football team. They played a great game tonight. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way for the Blazers, but it was a great competitive game, something we have looked forward to in the future. All right, again, Trey, let's start breaking down this offense and defense.
Well, the good thing is the Newberry team came out and they did what they wanted to do. They started early. They went ahead and got the seven-play drive for 62 yards and went ahead and scored. I mean, the Blazers came along and they tried to answer back with one play for 40 yards and went ahead and got a touchdown and made it somewhere between 10-3. Well, got a field goal and made it 10-3. But that's pretty much all we have here tonight, Josh.
Well, it was a good game, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, the Blazers came up short, 31-24. Thank you and come back.